oh yeah, there was that Keeper of the Light, and then there was that black hole, and it just suddenly realised just what a treat we've been given over the last week.
Yeah, and then we've also been given Terrorblade and Arc Warden, which, some people are a little bit about, but maybe they'll forget.
It's fine. It's okay. But no, it's been a very enjoyable group stage, and obviously knockout part of the brackets as well, because we've been through the upper bracket and the lower bracket to some degree. I want to talk about the surprises and some of the teams that maybe overperformed and underperformed. Grant, got anyone in mind?
I think, I could go with the obvious EG, but, they lost an MP, but I'm going to go with J-Storm. I thought they had a good chance of 2-0 and Fnatic, and they could have probably, almost been on this main stage here, and people had them as like their last place team coming in. They had some good surprises. Bryle and Milan, I thought, really stood out. Like Milan had a just absolutely dominating performance, and they just looked insanely good, but unfortunately they're out of the tournament because they threw a couple of games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's the disappointment, isn't it? When you see teams playing well. I mean, for instance, my team of the groups was Alliance. I thought they played incredible through the groups, but then you see them coming out, and you're kind of disappointed for them because you think you can play so much better than that.
Just like 5 more minutes and you could win a game, and then it doesn't happen.
They were that kind of team that got worse and worse, though, like the longer the tournament went.
Unfortunately.
More Lone Druid than Arc Warden. That was like a bit of the problem, maybe.
Who impressed you or disappointed you?
I mean, for me, Fnatic disappointed me because I had like very high expectations of them going in here. Then, like, I don't know if it's fair to say that they lost to EG at the end. They made it to the upper bracket from the groups, but I just feel like when you look at their players and like what they should accomplish, I don't think they're happy with it.
No, they shouldn't be.
And they didn't, like, every top team they played, like, they didn't look very good. Like, that's the biggest problem. Like, even in the series they went out where they looked the best, it's still like it wasn't that great.
I mean, they lost 2-0 like every series they played, right?
Yeah.
Or rather, every series they lost. Yeah. It didn't even look close. They just got completely crushed by all these top teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have like that superstar support duo they had. Like everyone's like, this is it. These are like the 2 best supports by far, and they didn't really impress with like their double 4 role kind of.
No.
If the SEA had an upside though, it was probably your favorite boys. Is that your highlight of this time, TNC?
Yeah, definitely TNC. Like after the group stage, they looked really shaky. Nobody really expected them to make it further. People even expected them to lose against Pain right off the bat. They completely demolished Pain, and ever since then, they just beat everyone that they played against. Even VG Gaming, who was probably a heavy favorite coming out of Hamburg. Now they're here at the main stage.
Yeah, top 6 now for TNC. Their best performance at a major is top 4. They only have to win 1 more series, and they're guaranteed to have equaled that. So they've done very well.
Yeah, I mean, don't know what happened to them, but maybe they had some good food suddenly or something. I don't know.
Or maybe they just stopped throwing games with 15k and 30k gold leads.
But how does that just happen?
I mean, come on, I can't not mention it.
No, I know. It's just,
no,
they
but
shouldn't have done it.
They didn't really stop, though, did they? Like, every game you're going to see of them, like, you're going to go...
1 or 2 throws.
Like, when they're up, yeah.
1 or 2 throws every game, but they've managed to make them less and less, so that's good.
Why don't we take a look at the groups then and show you how things shook up in that group stage. We had 4 groups, of course, of 4. In Group A, Team Secret made a bit of a mockery of this one, didn't they? They came through with 2-0 and 2-0 against J-Storm and Ninjas in Pyjamas. We've since seen Ninjas in Pyjamas, of course, make the top 6, guaranteed.
Actually, yeah, maybe that would be my team then.
Would that be your team?
Yeah, I can't believe any of us said that.
I can't believe none of you said it either. They're in the upper bracket semi-finals.
Yeah. No, like coming with a stand-in, like they didn't look very good to me in the groups.
Right.
I mean, I guess they had to play Secret. They look to be on another level, so that's kind of difficult. But yeah, I mean, what they're doing is really impressive.
In a way, they're Optic Gaming with a couple of members from Secret, which looks like an upgrade. Well, Optic were already pretty good last season, so we should have expected them to be good, shouldn't we?
Yeah, and then you get Mind Control as well. Like, I want to say, like, individually player-wise, he probably is a little better. I think his hero pool is better, right? It feels like when you have Ace and 33, you have, like, 2 cheesy players, honestly, and bringing Mind Control, then you just have aces here, like Husker, Arc Warden, whatever you want to do, and I think that actually did help him a lot.
Okay, let's take a look at Group B and show you how that one shaped out as well. This one was the group of death, I think most people agreed, with Evil Geniuses, Vici, Asta, and TNC in this group, and if you look at it right now, what do you know? EG and TNC, both in that top 6 as well. So also a very powerful group. And bear in mind, Vici and Team Master have left that group. Group C, let's take a look at that one right now as well as we go through these 4 groups to bring you right up to speed. PSG.LGD, absolute stomping of that particular group. They played the sister teams of Tigers and Fnatic in that one. and got rid of both of them very straightforwardly. Gambit particularly disappointing in that one, although they did take a game off the Tigers. And finally in Group D. Group D was Virtus Pro's group. They were guaranteed favourites in this particular one, and they proved to be. But it wasn't quite straightforward, gents.
They struggled a lot.
They did struggle a little bit in this one, mainly due to the fact that Alliance had a fantastic performance.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then they played Fnatic, right, if I'm not wrong, in the upper bracket, VP. And
Yeah.
that looked very convincing.
Yeah,
But then
looked
on the
much
other
better,
hand,
didn't it?
was that Fnatic or was that VP in that case?
Yeah.
I mean, if you lose to solo draw, there's probably, you know,
Oh, yeah.
You got issues, for sure. You
Yeah.
actually have a lot of issues if that's
A
happening.
few ones, yeah.
All right. Okay. And in terms of Alliance going out, obviously, I did with my team. I thought, you know, from the group
I was
stage,
gonna bring
they
up-
they can do something.
I was going to bring up the same thing with LGD. Like they play Fnatic too, right? Like,
Right.
which I expected to be like one of the top 4 teams here. They destroy them. Like, then you look at Fnatic, that's not really a test for them, right? Then they play Alliance, and they crush them too, but I don't think that's a test either. So
Right.
now,
So now where's the real test going to come in that upper bracket semi-final?
Exactly.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 fantastic teams. 3 of them have got 8 championships, 8 major championships between them, by the way.
Yeah.
The other one's got a TI winner on it, so it's not all of a wash up there. And obviously EG and TNC in the lower bracket, neither of them have won a major before. In fact, do you know what? EG 5 times have finished top 4 at a major, but never reached the final.
Got to finish eventually, right? Like you can't
Gotta
just
get
keep
there,
doing that. You
gotta
do.
keep
I mean,
going.
and you're the superstar team. Like you carry NA on your shoulders. You really do. Like this whole time, you got to win eventually. You're making me look bad. I mean, come on, NA. But it's fine.
All right, thanks, gents. We're going to hear more from our panel members very shortly, but we're getting very close to the official opening of the Kuala Lumpur Major.
Ten, nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially open here in Malaysia for the Kuala Lumpur Major. It is the first day inside the arena for the last 6 teams, all fighting out for the first major trophy of the season. Our first match not too far away. We're going to get some thoughts from all of our panel members. But first, I have to say, whoa, what a video.
That was pretty cool. It felt like, have you ever watched Vikings? I don't know.
Did have a little bit of a vibe there, didn't
The
it?
first 10 seconds at least, I was
Yeah.
going to say that, and I was like, I'm dropping this, but I still brought it up.
It looked a bit scary at times.
No, it was dope. I love it.
Yeah, the Crystal Main looked
Yeah.
a little too real for me. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I really liked it.
Yeah, very good stuff. As we look forward to today, 6 teams left. I'm going to put you all on the spot just for fun right now. Of the 6 that are left, who's winning this?
I want to see LGD win.
Yeah.
All right.
Any particular reason why?
I just feel like, they've been wanting this like big championship for a long time. I mean, they've had one
They have 2
in the
majors.
last season, yeah.
They had 2 majors last
And
season.
at TI, I felt like, I don't know, the ending was not a very nice one
Yeah.
for them. So,
So maybe bounce back with a big championship start
yeah.
of the season.
So I hope they have like a good start into the season, and then maybe can finish the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think Secret are going to win. Like there's 6 teams left, right? So I don't know if I would bet the field versus Secret, but it's
Right.
almost at that point for me.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. If I got to pick a winner, then I don't know. Yeah, Secret. I just want them to win, and I think they're going to win. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's about
Your old boys, your old team. Trump?
Probably someone like Team C. I'm just kidding. It's evil
course
geniuses. They're
it
going
is.
to come from the
Of
lower
course
bracket.
it is.
Sumail is playing like a man out of his mind right now, and they're going to come through the lower bracket. I mean, they have to play one of these 2 teams, PSG.LGD
Yes.
and
Yep.
Secret. And if they beat them in the lower bracket, I think they're going to take it. But it is
Yeah.
going to be a pretty tough run for them.
It's a big if though.
Yeah, and Arteezy's back on Heroes he likes.
That's
a
true.
good
That's
thing. Like
actually
they're
true.
actually playing
And-
around him instead of
yeah,
Sumail.
And
so
picking up MVP awards as well. It's always a
Exactly.
good sign when Arteezy's your MVP. isn't
he's
it?
back. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'll go with the boys in blue.
All right.
Whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'd probably
I'm utterly appalled and shocked.
I'd probably pick Secret though. If I'm being like completely, I think Secret is a heavy favorite here.
Why do you also think that we've got such a diverse pool of teams as well? Because as I said at the intro, we've got 6 teams, 5 different regions. It's not like there's one region heavily dominant right now. Why is that?
I mean, I think every year the gap just closes more and more and more, and it's not really about like the skill gap that was there before anymore. It's more just about how does the team mesh, the team chemistry, how can a team bounce back from a loss. Mental fortitude is very important now, and I think the teams that are in the top 6 now, they've shown a very great amount of mental fortitude.
If there's a team that's least experienced in here, Grant, it's TNC. As
Yeah.
far as like previous majors and championships and titles and TI champions.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably TNC, but maybe NIP, but they have mind control coming in. I think those 2 are by far like you
they
look
have
them. You have
PPD.
PPD, you do, but then you have like Soxa. I mean, I guess second place at TI is pretty
Yeah,
good. But
no, the thing with all
Hey,
these teams is
PPD won one as well.
he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. It's just
even when you bring up
together, yeah.
TNC as the least experienced, all those guys have been playing
They
forever.
have, haven't
and
they?
I
Yeah.
think they've been to the last 2 or 3 TIs too. Like these are all very veteran
I
teams.
think that's the biggest thing because we're like near the end of this patch now. So you
Yeah.
see like the one top team in all the regions, and they're all still in the pool right now. You can just see they're a step above like the tier 2 players in the rest of the region.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the schedule and show you what we've got coming up for you today, because we've got 3 matches, of course. We're going to kick things off with PSG.LGD versus Team Secret. We'll also have Ninjas in Pajamas versus Virtus Pro, and then TNC versus that terrible team that get through all the time. TBD, I've used that joke so many times, it doesn't work anymore.
TBD will win eventually.
They will win
It'll
eventually.
win a game
They never
eventually,
get to
and
the
then
final.
you won't have to
No.
use a joke because
I-
it won't be a joke.
I think someone has said that before too.
Oh yeah, they all know. Was it you?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
I think we've got a glitch in the matrix. Someone check us out. Someone help us. Match you're looking forward to today? Which one?
I mean, it must be LGD versus Secret, right?
Yeah.
2 tournament favorites.
2 former champions.
Yeah, clashing it out, right? The first game of the day. I mean,
I think they're the 2 heavy favorites, like of the tournament. Now, obviously, one of them can't be because one of them's going down to the lower bracket, and they're gonna have to go through someone like VP or something eventually.
There is a couple of
Going
things that
through
might
EG?
happen, by the way, today. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, they're going through EG.
Yeah, no,
go
he's
ahead.
just
You know, I'm already out. I'm already out of that. Go Secret.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that might happen today. So firstly, I personally wanted to give a shout out to Valve. This is this tournament marks the point at which they have given away $25 million for majors alone. So thank you to Valve, and thank you to all of the fans that obviously make up that as well. It's the 15th total major when you include all of the previous Valve majors, all of the majors that we had last season as well. It's the 15th major. There's a team that went to all 14 of the previous ones. Do you know which one it was?
Probably secret.
No.
No.
They went to all 14, but they're not here.
I mean,
OG?
Liquid.
OG or Liquid? It has to be, right?
Newbie.
Newbie.
Newbie went to
Whoa,
all
curveball.
14. All 14 of the first 14 majors, but they
Yeah.
aren't here. It's the first one they've ever missed. No one else has a record like that.
That's crazy,
It's
too.
incredible, yeah. It's actually the 13th one for Virtus Pro and for Secret. Unlucky for some, they say. Virtus Pro are on 103 wins at majors right now, which is one short of the record held by
EG.
Liquid. This is the quiz.
Damn it, I had
This
it
is the
this
quiz
time.
part.
Oh,
Next
God, we're
question,
losing.
next question.
Yeah, I'll get the next one.
So VP need 2 more wins to overtake Liquid, who obviously aren't here. This is outside of TIs. VP have 4 major titles. They're tied with easy,
OG.
Easy question. OG, yeah. So if they win
Got
this
it.
one, they actually overtake OG, which has been a long time
It's
coming.
impressive.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. I don't know.
Dude, that is...
don't like OG's major, like the first majors, don't they count as like 3 or something?
Well, because they were $3 million majors.
Yeah,
each
and
one
I
of
won
them. They
one
won
of those
4
too,
of
right?
those first 5, and you won the other one.
Exactly. So I think I'm at 3 majors.
Right.
Technically.
Congratulations.
Is that what we do?
That's
we
what I
make
do.
them 3 majors.
That's what I tell people.
So that means OG won 12.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think the $25 million, though, I mean, that's just a lot of money for this game.
It's
you know,
outside TI.
Yeah, exactly. And, like,
Outside TI. It's effectively one TI on its own.
it's insane. It just started as a game that like wasn't even, and then Valve's like, you know what, we're going to make this game even better, and they do. And they turned it into the best game in the world. It's actually amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. So first one of 5 this season as well. Important to start well. I know you want PSG.LGD to do well, but wouldn't it be fun if someone new won? Do you know there've only been 6 winners of a major?
I believe you.
Only 6 teams have ever won. In fact, you were part of the first season where it was only Secret, Liquid, or OG could get to a final.
Yeah, we were in the final the first 2, and then I believe OG won the last one, right?
Yep. And Liquid
The
were in 2
Manila-
finals
yeah,
as well.
Liquid, yeah,
Lost
exactly.
both of them.
They did.
Yeah. Do you know they lost 4 major finals before they finally won?
I do remember that one.
That's so harsh,
That has
isn't
to
it?
feel so, like, you feel good. And everyone's like, well, they made a lot of money. They did that. But these
Sure,
players
they
aren't
wanna
here
win.
for money.
They don't care
Exactly.
about that money.
A lot of these players, they really don't. I mean, money's good, but like getting that win, like you don't want to be the guy who's always losing.
Yeah,
in second place
money is
ever.
not in your head if you're like playing a tournament.
Yeah,
You're
ask
like,
PSG,
oh, we're
LGD
top
at
2.
TI.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
After your second place in a row or
Okay,
something like that.
we're third. We're
it's rough.
getting how much money? I don't know.
Yeah.
Second, first, and then after you win, you're like, ooh, we won.
We won. Then you can, coast a little bit after that, as it seems most TI teams do after they win.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's OG and Liquid still to come. As fabulous as this
Yeah.
tournament has been, and the quality of the Dota has been really high, I have missed seeing OG and Liquid being here, and I wonder where they would fit into the bracket right now. What are your thoughts?
I don't know, because now NIP is a little bit different because they don't have mind control. I don't know. I think OG, because it is the same patch, I mean, they would just be the favorite, right? I mean, they won TI. You're in the new major.
I don't know. Would they?
You don't think they would?
I mean, it
It's
depends.
been a
like-
while. Like it's
Yeah.
November now,
And it's like
3 months.
It
since
is,
TI.
that's true.
The meta developed though quite a bit from TI, right?
No, but it's generally
has
though. I
changed.
think they would do really well. Like teams coming out, even the teams that like eventually collapse after TI, like they win TI, like Newbie for example after TI4, like they did really well.
RPGs.
Yeah, and then eventually RPGs catch up to you. But like for the first few months, like you got it for sure. So they would definitely be here right now.
Yeah, Newbie, Liquid, and OG. I guess they're the 3 big ones that we're missing. But we're going to see these boys in some of the majors heading forward. It's gonna be-
Hopefully.
it's
You
gonna
never
be
know.
fun. Yeah,
Everyone has to qualify.
Well,
You never
absolutely,
know. No
yeah,
direct
yeah.
invites.
No, absolutely.
But you were talking about the importance of this major, right? And
Yeah.
I think it's like something to stress on because even last year, like the points you start accumulating, especially now when there are way less events. Like if you have NIP, for example, plays top 3 this tournament, like it's so huge for them. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. 3,000 was enough to get you into the top last season.
'Cause
You
you-
win this one, it's 4,900 points straight away.
Exactly.
I mean, VP almost like they just qualified from like the very first major they won. I mean, they kept winning them, but they really didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like winning the very first one, you might fall off, but you guarantee your spot at TI, which is important.
Yeah, especially now with it's 12 slots, right? So
Yeah.
like these points matter so much.
Yep. Only one qualifier from each region. You do not want to be in those
you
ever.
don't.
No, that's going to be
That's
it's
it's gonna be really fun to watch, but not to play.
great for us.
Yeah, not to play.
Fantastic for us, but yeah, terrifying for the players as well. What are you doing, by the way? Are you going to find yourself a team? As much as we love having you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're all right.
I do want to play.
Okay. I'm going to get more from you in that in a moment
right.
because that horn signifies that the first match is just around the corner. Our players are ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to introduce you to the first two teams.
Heavy favorites to win the major. This team towered above the competition. Heavy favorites to win the major. This team towered above the competition in Hamburg and were truly on another level. Nisha and Zai joined their ranks this season, and Captain Puppy seems to have once again masterminded a world-class roster. Meta trendsetters with unpredictable drafts and winners of the EU regionals. Team Secret. Welcome on stage, Team Secret. They set fire to low expectations by exploding back onto the DPC in the second half of last season, making it all the way to the TI8 Grand Finals in Vancouver. Rest is for the weak, and they unleashed their wrath on the Chinese regionals to arrive in Kuala Lumpur as China's biggest threat. Introducing PSG.LGD. Welcome on stage, PSG.LGD.
PSG.LGD versus Team Secret. One for the ages, one for the history books perhaps, as these two will get themselves ready for a best of three upper bracket semi-final at the Kuala Lumpur Major. Both of these two teams with 2 championships already in the bag as far as majors are concerned. And this really is where the journey to the International 2019 begins. Seems a long way away, but it's not that far away, is it?
Yeah.
We know how fast it could go last season. We think how many tournaments did we have? 22, 23?
Yeah, it didn't feel that long.
No, it just went, you missed it in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, suddenly the year was over again. The eye was right around the corner.
Very important for both these two teams. Obviously played a lot as well, Grant, these two.
Yeah.
Throughout that last season, they often found themselves either in finals or around semi-finals. Secret very rarely, if they drop down, ever get back to the grand final. So they'll want to make sure today that they don't make that mistake and they can win this one.
Yeah, I mean, this almost, I'm sure for both these teams, they almost feel like, I mean, this isn't the finals, but like this is, I mean, I'm sure they go into this tournament, they're like, oh, the favorites, you know, VP,
Right.
PSG, LGD, and Secret. And I think you win this, you have a very good chance of the grand finals.
Yeah, guaranteed top 3. Pi, when you played those semi-finals, is that in your mind at all? Are you thinking, if we lose this, we could still finish top 6, but if we win, we're top 3. That's a really big. Does it put more pressure on you?
No, I don't. It puts less pressure, more like you know, like you have another chance, right? If you lose,
Right.
And that's about
So
it.
you're thinking more about the fact that you've got another life left in the tournament.
You're thinking more about just playing the match, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's the worst to think that, you know, it's okay losing because we're still top 6. I think like if you have that kind of mindset, you're probably never going to win a tournament.
Do you think all players are like that, or is it just like you guys, or do you know like some of your teammates maybe who get like more nervous?
There's
in
definitely a
winners,
lot
or-
of people that get really nervous and they underperform a lot.
I mean, it's been different for me too. Like some tournaments I've been, like I make top 4 and I'm like, all right. It's good.
All right.
Life's good.
I feel no, but like I
I'm
usually
gonna
do better.
distance myself
I usually
here.
do better in those tournaments because like I don't feel any pressure.
Right.
So
But is
like,
that how you mentally cope with the pressure? Is it by telling yourself, no, I'm good, I've achieved what I need? Is that how you personally deal with it? Different players, different things?
I mean, different players, different things, obviously, but but for me, yeah. No, I'm pretty bad with dealing with pressure. I gotta be honest. Like, if it hits me, like I just hope it goes away. That's
Right.
kind of how I deal with it.
Okay. How is Puppy?
Puppy, he's
Yeah.
great.
He always seems quite level-headed. Nothing seems to phase him. He's been there and done it and seen
I mean,
everything, right?
He's
So-
still a human, right? So like things obviously face
Yeah.
him. But as a captain, I don't know, he's probably the best I played with. So
I mean,
that's for sure.
I got to play with him actually in like late Dota 1. And
Yeah, really?
he was, yeah, on Nirvana Ant when I used to ring for Jimmy,
Whoa.
for Demon. And I don't know, just playing with him, he's always confident. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
even if maybe you think he's not confident, he always is, whether he's lying to himself or not. I mean, and it's worked for him, right? He's
Yeah.
one of the most successful players of all time. It's actually amazing.
Okay. Let's take a look at a couple of key players in this particular matchup, one on either side. We've got Mid1 on one side.
I was
who's
going to talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have X-Nova as well. Because, there's some local love for these two players.
Of course.
Why wouldn't we have picked these two? I guess one is a newer addition
Yeah.
to the local love scene, obviously X-Nova. Mid1, on the other hand, he's 22. How is he only 22 still?
I mean,
He seems like he's been around forever.
I mean, for me, he came in kind of late, right?
Right.
You can see there 2015. But like he was impressive the second he stepped on like the
Right.
big stage here. I mean, for me, Mid1 is like I played with him right for about a year, I think, and he's a really really good player. Like he's one of those mixes mid players. Like he's really good in lane. He talks a lot. Like he's like an S4 mix with like this Artur level laning almost. Like,
God, that sounds amazing.
it is amazing. Look at him. Look at his results. The heroes he plays, and like he's just gotten better and better. Like he gains more and more confidence in himself. And like the harder the game gets, the better he gets too.
Yeah.
Like the more he talks. Like he'll captain a game when we had some games where like it's over and he
just takes over.
He just comes like even Puppy is like I don't know about this
done.
one and he just goes. He's like smoke here, go do that. I'm really looking forward.
It's nice
Yeah.
to see him play like this again, right? Because
Yeah.
at
Yes.
TI, honestly, it did feel like he was underperforming. And now
did.
coming back to this tournament, like he's been on point. He's been, I mean, him and Nisha together actually, I think the strongest 1-2 duo at this tournament by
Really?
far. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, his Monkey King in particular has been a standout, hasn't it, in this tournament?
I mean, they've first picked it, and he's carried games. Wald's been first pick. Like, it's, you just don't do that usually. 'Cause that hero's very easily countered, it feels like.
On the other hand, we've got X-Nova,
Yep.
obviously also local hero as well, and a newer addition to that, playing at the top of his game. We've raved about him, it seems, all last season. As to what a high-quality player he is.
It's like a very different story, right? Like X-Nova, or rather Mid1, he came into the scene, kind of exploded into the
Yep.
scene. He played really well from the get-go. Whereas X-Nova, he played in his WG team.
Yep.
They were, not the best
WG
C
had
team.
a couple of good results.
I mean,
The big
they
complexity.
did, yes.
There we go.
But they were never
That
that
man.
stable. They were never considered a super top team,
No.
He goes into LGD and suddenly he just plays like a madman. It's like his skill doubled or something just by being around these players. It's insane.
He's a very, very special player. Like you could see the KDA there, true support, like averaging
Yeah.
some
2,
8
6,
deaths a
and
game,
11, yeah.
coming in with
That's
assists.
high. What are you talking about? That's really high.
It's pretty high. But like he plays, like he's a bit like me when I played in Secret. Like he plays 5, but he doesn't captain, and I don't think he in-game leads. So like how you can do that and still be on one of the top teams, that means like your skill is extremely high. Like you can see whenever, you might call like Ogre or Bane like limited in skill, but like everything you can do, like he does with those heroes.
I mean, positioning and everything is so
The
important.
positioning, like how he wards, like
It's very subtle, and
Yeah.
most people won't really realize it. But when you go into a game where like every little positioning mistake matters, I don't know, he just does it really well.
Some pros say you can lose a game. Like, if you lose the first wave in a certain lane or just lose a lane in game 1, like, it's all comes down to positioning.
Yeah.
Like, your support. And X-Nova has been so good at that.
We're going to move towards the draft very shortly, of course. So, Grant, let's talk meta. Let's
All
talk. Has the gang of 3 become a gang of 4?
It sure has. Arc Warden has joined them there, and I was actually going to bring up in the next major open qualifiers happened in the Fear Eternal Envy stack actually ended up losing with an Arc Warden and are already out of it. They lost to a Pangolier. So we were discussing, is Pangolier an answer to this Arc Warden, or what's going on?
I mean, that was the key to it, wasn't it? Disruptive, being disruptive, getting him out of lane, getting
getting on
bullying in.
getting on top of him
in the mid game especially.
The problem I always have with the Pango is like I just see him showing up to lane with Arc Warden and like.
He's bad in lane. We've known that for a while.
Yeah.
But if you're going to draft around him, then it can work, can't it?
Feels like it worked for them. Apparently, they just beat a TI winner in open qualifiers with it, and you're just some random guy, so it works out. And, oh no, this Arc Warden here, I don't think Secret will give PSG.LGD this, right? Or do you think?
I don't know. Both of them play it, right? I do believe mid one plays Arc Warden. I don't know how high
I
they
haven't
rate
seen
it.
it as much. Nisha does too.
Yeah.
I did see it's actually PSG.LGD does have first pick, so I don't think they'll first pick it,
No.
but if it gets left till that second pick, and it's not
Maybe.
banned, for
Who
sure.
plays it on LGD?
Doesn't Ame?
Is it Ame?
I thought so.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen him play it too much.
He plays a lot of Troll Warlord.
Yeah.
A lot of troll.
A lot of Troll, a lot of Terrorblade,
Yeah.
a lot of Spectra.
So like if you could pick, you would probably play Terrorblade, but
Yeah. Or maybe even Spectra. I think he really lost Spectra.
yeah.
On the flip side of this, of course, Secret have been probably the most diverse team in the last couple of weeks in terms of drafts. I know that they were practicing a little bit in Hamburg, and they were saying, well, we're trying stuff out, and we're trying not to go too stale, and we don't want to give too much away. And there's all those kind of mind games, but genuinely, the brew has been working. You know, it has been something that they theorized that it would be okay, and now it is. It's there. The LC, not so much, I guess.
Yeah, the support
Didn't
LC.
quite work out.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that was a 5 LC as well. So.
people are copying them, right? Like even
Yeah, that was
EG
my
copying
point, is
them.
that they seem to be setting the late meta of this patch.
Yeah. EG copied them, played the position 5 tiny, but it had like no impact at all almost. Whereas like whenever a Secret plays it, it just looks super strong.
No, only
like-
Puppy can really pull out this, as it seems right now, this like extreme, which I wouldn't want to touch as a position 5 heroes. The little like thing they do though that's not very versatile is Nisha's hero pool. I think he played Venomancer once, but other than that, like he's been on Morphling and Terrorblade.
Yeah.
And I don't
But when
know
he's so good, why wouldn't you put him on
No,
those?
no,
That's on the other team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
they
if
ban
it's
it
so
out,
good,
right?
they're just not going to ban it. All right. Yeah.
No, that's, I'm just wondering, like if they somehow can make them uncomfortable and getting him to play like a Potom mid or something.
But how do you do that? He also plays a really good Arc Warden. That means you would have to like first ban all 3 of them, or ban 2 and pick one of them. And
Leave the Wisp in the pool.
You could do that.
it just seems a bit hard to draft against them.
Yeah,
I definitely
for
don't
sure.
think you give him like TB or Morphling though. I think he's far better on those 2 heroes than even like the PL and the Arc Warden. Like I definitely think, as Pi said, you make him a little bit uncomfortable. You have to.
I wonder though, like if you're like NMP, they brought out the Coddle, right? And I do think they beat the TB with Coddle 1 or 2 games in.
I believe
yeah.
once. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
once,
one,
yeah. So like if you can, yes, because there are more TB counters in the game. Like it feels like that hero should be able to deal with it.
Yeah, we've seen the Zeus play
Yeah.
on occasion against the PL, played against it.
Yep.
Been a few. The other one that I wanted to bring up was the Centaur. He's got a phenomenal win rate right now.
I think in the last like 2 days he was like the highest pick rate for first pick. Like if teams just left through Axe or Centaur, I think Centaur was actually getting picked more than Axe in that first pick.
I mean anything, right?
It goes
There's
nuts.
TB, Morphling, anything in the pool is first pick Centaur anyways.
Yeah. I think Vici Gaming, I mean, they're the ones who pulled out the 4 Centaur, I think, on the first day, and then all of a sudden teams were like, oh, that hero's really good in the off lane, but he's even better if we can play him as a greedy 4, and it worked out, and people see that now.
I mean, kind of feels that way. Like the 2 teams that are kind of defining the meta right now are also the teams that are considered the heavy favorites.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's the end of a patch, and a long patch. I guess that's probably how it pans out, right?
Yeah, it does feel like that. Like Secret is definitely like they're shifting the support meta with these weird 5 and 4s, and then you see like PSG.LGD, they're the ones pulling out these stranger carries. So now they're just gonna run at each other, and we're gonna see what's happening, I guess.
What's the strategy, Johan, heading into this game for both teams? What are they looking for in the edges of the draft? Is Puppy, do you feel like he's maybe prepared something, they've got something special lined up, or are they just playing the way that they want to play out, the way they've done that's been so successful so far?
I'm wondering what they're like, how they're gonna think about the carries, like the carry matchups, like how both these teams are gonna rate the Arc Warden, for example. And then, like for me, I think like both Axe and Centaur are gonna be like very heavily contested. So I'm just wondering how, like, the thing with Centaur is it seems, I don't know, I'm just thinking about his Stampede spell, and like you can team fight in two ways, right? Like you run at them or you kite them, and it works both ways. And he's strong in lane, so like I would think the team would like both these teams would first pick that hero.
And it's a save too, right? You get his Aghanim Scepters, like 60% damage reduction.
Exactly. Yeah. So we might see people like Enigma might want to like go up a little bit higher, and the same with like we might see them play Void.
But it's so scary though. You have FY and you have Yapzor. If you like first pick Enigma, they're definitely gonna go Rubik, and you're gonna probably be very scared to use your black hole.
That's true, but I mean, Secret runs it more like they just buy like Crimson Guard and stuff. He like never even uses the
just
black
a tank.
hole kind of stuff. Yeah, he just like tank, sit in the lane, don't leave the lane. Just make him pressured. I don't know. I agree. I think Centaur and Enigma are going to be the two like heavily favored heroes in this match.
Yeah, we've got Toby, of course, to go to for the commentary. So I'm guessing he's sitting there going, Drow, Enigma.
Yeah, and Rubik. Rubik
And
with
Rubik.
Enigma. Like, please, 5 black holes again. Yeah, please.
Yeah, that was pretty astonishing. What was that? That was a refresher.
Refresher,
Orb
shard.
Yeah, Orb shard plus,
2 refreshers
and
one
then a
refresher
stolen
shard.
black hole on the other side with a refresher.
With a refresher, that was
Amazing.
actually crazy.
Yeah, that was bonkers. That could also play its part in this game as well. We've got probably one of the best Rubiks here. Certainly the guy they pick it on a regular basis if the other team do get the Enigma.
I mean,
because they've got Yapzor.
We have 2 of the best Rubiks. FY, like the
original.
the original
Rubik.
God,
yeah, FY God, for sure. And then the Enigma has been played a role. I mean, there are so many, it feels, it's almost impossible to ban against both of these two teams. So what strategy do they have, Grant? Do they go into this, LGD, do they look at it and go, we're just going to focus Nisha, for instance? Like Johan said, try and get rid of his, narrow his pool?
I mean, that's what I'm curious about, right? Because you just had, like, I think Secret had a 5-day break. We're talking 5 days. Like, no one really knows what they could pull out. Like, it was actually 5 days off, and who knows what they were, like, concocting in their actual room. Like, they might bring out, who knows, a random position 5 Drow or something like VP accidentally did. But I think you just, I don't know, you definitely have to focus on one aspect of the game, but I think you focus on yourself first. Like, get the heroes you want. Don't overthink, like, banning out the other team. Just get a strategy you like.
Yeah, and stick to it. Like, don't ruin your draft by trying to, like, do some funny picks.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because that could happen to Secret. Like, they could go too far. You might end up with, like, a puppy position 5 Enigma with Japser playing Earthshaker or something, and then, like, they're just going to be very stale in lanes and how they move. Like, that could happen to them.
You can definitely outdraft yourself. Like, there's no doubt. Puppy has shown that before. He's outdrafted opponents and himself multiple times.
Happened to so many teams in the lower bracket too. They just outdraft themselves and then like, all these heroes.
Those were slightly differently. I mean, this is more because of the theory crafting around it. The other drafts felt a bit more like a reaction to what the other team were doing, didn't they? And you're like, oh, well, they've done that, so we need to do this now. And then you end up with a kind of broken lineup in a way that doesn't fit together as a team. It's rare you get a puppy lineup that doesn't at least fit together.
Yeah. I mean, how I'm expecting this to work out, like one or both teams should like try to get the other team to pick a hero they've been thinking about. Like that's usually how it works out. So I'm expecting like one of these heroes we're gonna be they gave them Terrorblade or whatever, but like they're gonna have thought of something.
Right.
Yeah. Like that's the easiest way to do it. Like you give them something you know they're gonna pick, and then you deal with that.
I wonder if that hero will be the Arc Warden.
Or the Lycan against the Arc Warden. I know both teams like Lycan.
I thought Lycan was fine.
The
I did
Lycan
not
was really
think
good
that
against
loss was
Aqua.
their fault, like at all in that TNC game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when they played, and I don't know. I think Lycan is a pretty decent counter, like that 30 to 40 minute mark where you just run over. Even he was versus the Centaur that game too, and like Lycan's pretty good versus Stampede. He's keeping up with the Stampede, like the one hero that can.
You're even faster. Like even if they run away, just still bite them.
No, that's not right. You don't want to play Lycan versus Centaur. Like
you don't want to. It's not terrible.
You know what happens,
saying.
right? Like. You're chasing the support. They stampede. They're over here. Then you're here with Lycan, and your team is here.
And you're just by yourself, killing like a position 5 Enigma or
you're
something.
You're just in the middle of everything by yourself. So at Centaur, like I don't know. Like right now, if I was drafting, I wouldn't really know what to pick versus that guy. I just know you need lockdown. Like you need to be able to.
Well, what about Nyx Assassin? Everybody that runs away gets stunned. Something like that. But Nyx is not really.
Nyx Assassin versus Centaur. I don't know. Like you're really reaching here.
Nyx is not bad against Centaur.
It's alright.
Because everybody that actually, runs through it with Stampede, they all get stunned.
Oh, but Centaur has a laning phase and Nyx
Yeah,
doesn't.
Nyx doesn't do anything.
Yeah, Nyx does nothing in lane. That's always going to be the problem.
I mean, he has an 80 damage done. Pretty good.
That's all right.
That's hard to hit. Yeah. Oh, that's a bad hero.
He'll be coming out with Invoker support next. I mean, I'm just waiting for it now.
Cold Snap against Centaur. He can't
See?
stun.
Told you.
You thought about it.
He has
He's thought about it. This is what Black does. That's why he's sitting here and not playing up there. I'm just kidding, Black.
Wow.
Why are you
Some
laughing,
things right
Pi?
It was a little delayed, but that was...
I'm going to drag you into this if you keep laughing.
I'm quiet.
It's all good. Why don't we take a community question as well? We've got a number of questions that have been posted throughout our threads as we wait for this first draft. This one says, where's Batrider? Seems to fit the meta. No team's picking him, though. We've seen it a couple of times in certain situations. I mean, he's situational. That's the point, isn't he?
Yeah, occasional last pick when it's like super good.
You have to be careful because you really want to win the laning stage with that guy. And sometimes you pick him and you think he's going to win the lane and he doesn't win the lane. Then the game is just over. Sometimes you pick him like they only have one pick left. You're like, oh my god, he's so good with all these heroes. Then they just pick this one hero. Then like in the laning stage, just follows him and you can't move.
Yeah, he's definitely a 10-pick hero now. Like that's what
Yeah,
Batrider is.
Yeah, like a very
that's how I
cheesy
feel
kind
about
of hero.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe I think there's a lot of insta stuns being picked up too, and it makes Batrider harder to play. Like he's a pretty bad team fighter, and you just go in there, you get stunned, and you die. That's usually what happens.
Because that's what I feel. It's either you're playing for the laning phase or you're playing for team fight.
Yeah.
And Batrider like only fits into that laning phase, and there's just heroes that do it better. It feels like.
Yeah. Could you get away with using him as a support?
We?
Doing just that?
I mean, we've old Team NP used to love playing that. So
Exactly. No,
you could.
But then I guess the argument is that there are better supports. I mean, you've got to go a long way down the list before you kind of run out of. No, we're at Batrider now.
No, you
for
have to be
supports.
tricking them in some way,
Yeah.
forcing a reaction.
Okay, our draft is about to get underway.
Oh yay!
Is LGD's coach there? I haven't seen him. Yeah. Have you seen LGD's coach?
He's probably back there somewhere.
Yeah. I
By
can't
the
s-
way, I just want to say thanks to Maybe for putting Maybe on his shirt
Yeah.
rather than that other disgraceful word that he uses sometimes.
Somnus.
Don't say
Somnus M.
Right. So LGD are first pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they
Enigma.
chose that.
All right,
so
Centaur's
they
gone.
wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Centaur and
Yeah.
Enigma gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a surprise.
You have to ban. I mean, that's the problem when you don't have first pick now. It feels like you have to ban Cent and IO. Like, that's what it
I
feels
think
like.
the Wisp gets through, by the way.
Oh,
That's
really do.
No, that's a classic thing to do. If you
Yes.
have a few days to prepare,
Yeah.
like both teams are really picking.
We
it.
can do this against Wisp, and then suddenly IO comes and like, okay, let's do this what we prepared, and then you get run over, and you're like, all right, let's ban them next game.
yeah, it just feels weird to like leave the IO because you're like, I got a strap, but then you just lose to, and you're like, well, what was all this preparing we did? That hero was,
Guys.
I don't know.
100% picked or banned. 72 bans,
That's
5
nuts.
picks.
I think they ban it right here.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking about right
And
now.
actually lost 2 games out of 5.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And it can't win games on its own. Oh, it does
Well,
get
there
banned.
it's gone.
I actually think those two heroes will get first banned by whatever team has second pick. I think those are the two best first pick heroes in the game.
Yeah. Well, now there's still an Axe though. There's Tiny.
Yeah. There's Zax, there's Tiny, there's
there's Terrorblade.
There's Terrorblade, there's Arc Warden. There's plenty still left in here for funds.
I want to see a PA by LGD or Secret. It doesn't matter. I just want to see a PA.
I mean, I want CPA, but
PA
I don't
isn't
expect it.
I've heard PA Dazzles have been dominating pubs lately. I know it's just pubs, but I've heard, I mean, it's like high, like, rank 100 Immortal games, and like this PA Dazzle lane is actually insane.
Yeah, you just throw out a poison, throw a dagger after 3 seconds. The
So
poison
good.
gets reapplied. And it's
And
like 200 damage.
If we want to talk up PA a bit, like it's actually, she's become a cooler hero since she got the 3 dagger talents.
Yeah.
Because you actually become kind of an AoE teamfight hero.
I still think you need a Magnus though if you pick PA.
helps.
Otherwise the hero is just like too slow. You need like all these items.
Isn't that the problem though with PA right now? You need too many other things that can get banned and
Yeah, but if you have a Magnus in your team that takes care of your weaknesses, it can become like a really snowbally hero.
That's
but you
kind
need a dazzle.
Well, you don't need a
Magnus.
dazzle.
No, but you do if they're going to be ideal, right? It's those 3.
Yeah, I mean if you want to like
think
be
so.
100% perfect, yeah. But
Axe gone.
Axe is also gone.
Yeah.
It's a little bit surprising. MGD. That just shows they're not that comfortable with it.
It's probably gonna pick up a Tiny then, no?
I mean, the Tiny is getting more and more valuable because a lot of these, like, like easy to play stun heroes are getting banned out. So like
It's a relatively safe
Phantom
round one
Lancer.
pick as well, isn't it?
It's only
PL
terrible.
I've seen PSG.LGD do this in their qualifiers where they ban the morph and they will just overall first pick the TB
Yeah.
if it doesn't get banned for Sims. I think it's Tiny or TB.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Secret wants to pick like an Arc Warden or something like that.
Yeah.
If they ban like that.
They go TB here.
No,
No, they go Tiny.
All right. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
it's interesting though, because it leaves Arc Warden and TB, and they won't pick both of them.
Yep.
So therefore, the Tiny pick actually makes a lot more sense.
yeah, and it's also because a lot of stuns have been banned out.
it will come down to like how confident you are with the hero, honestly. Like TB counters Arc Warden counters TB. They're like really good against each other. It just depends on how confident you are with the hero.
Only 39% win rate here at the major.
So many of these losses come from this core position one tinies.
Not one so much when doing
Oh, there
They
you
do go
go.
Arc Warden. Yeah.
There it is. So LGD effectively have been theory crafting for the last 4 or 5 days on how to beat the Arc Warden.
Yeah. I think it's very obvious they wanted to pick that though. They banned the Centaur and the PL, like
Yeah.
two really strong cores against him.
I think we're going to see that a lot today. I think right 4 of the 6 teams play. I think I haven't seen TNC play it yet, and I haven't seen VP.
TNC plays it, but
not
they're not specialists
like
at
this.
it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabi plays a pretty good Arc Warden.
Yeah.
I don't know
But
how good
it
though.
feels like if you're not a specialist on the hero though, like you only bring out 80% is not enough.
Yeah.
you like 3rd or 4th pick. You don't first pick it. Like
Yeah,
they've done
exactly.
here.
The funny thing here, though, is I think Argwell started being picked as a Terrorblade counter. But like thinking about it now, it's like Terrorblade is like the best.
They're good against each
Counter.
other, right? They're
Yeah.
good against each other because TB pushes out all these lanes. It basically like just does what Arc Warden does, but better.
Yeah.
Like you split these lanes way faster than Arc Warden does.
I mean, I'm interested to see what they think. Because either they'll TB here or they'll save it and pick one of these more like less common carries.
Yeah, like
a
PA.
Lycan maybe.
77% win rate,
Pretty good.
77 matches, 10 wins.
not bad.
What do you guys? Is Ogre falling off? I mean, we see him first pick, but it feels like teams have actually moved away. He was like getting overall first pick for like a couple of tournaments, and even in the beginning of this tournament. And then it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
He just feels like he's a good laner, and then afterwards.
And the
what
thing
do
with
you do?
him, yeah, like even in lane, like he's good, right? But he's not.
It's not great.
He's not the.
He's
yeah,
good,
he's
not
not the
great.
best laner. And then like he has absolutely no team fight. And like those are his problems, obviously. But he kind of has this Magnus effect where he speeds up your carry's farm with Bloodlust. He's like very annoying to play against with, like when you can't burst him as the enemy team, and he's just this 5 running around.
Nah.
Okay, I didn't.
Very good against Arc Warden because the bubble can't protect the buildings, obviously. You
I mean,
just blast them.
that's the thought, right? But on the other hand, I don't know, like laning a Pugna versus an
I
Arc Warden.
mean, mid-late game, it's not fun for a partner.
Yeah.
This illusion runs at you, or this clone,
Yeah.
and you can't do much. But I actually like this Ogre much better as an offlaner when you have like another position 4 with him, like an Ogre Shaker or something. It's like way stronger than this position 5 Ogre for me. And I think it had the most success in the recent meta when it was an offlane and not position 5.
I think Moonmander play a lot. I mean, you just get like tanky items, and you just go in, and like people want to focus you. That hero's like unkillable.
Yeah,
it feels like if he farms.
There you go, Crimson Guard. I mean, he has a 90 damage talent.
Actually, I'm wondering with this Pugna, like you meet the clone, right? And you decrypify it and you drain it.
Yeah,
do you just kill it? Like
Early game, yes.
Yeah.
But mid-late game, he's just gonna like nullify you and you're dead.
Yeah. If you're picking a Pugna, you probably don't want to go 60 minutes anyways. So.
Yeah.
they're looking to push the tempo here. Right?
It might also just be pressure offlane. You know, Pugna Tiny should on paper destroy an Arc Warden lane.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I'm thinking, I think LGD are gonna Ame plays a really good Lycan. I think they're gonna look for these Lycan embers, and they're gonna build a lineup to just crush this Arc Warden.
They just play really fast.
Really fast with like
Like TNC tried,
yeah, and with like a hero that can kill buildings through the bubble.
but more polished probably. Yeah. They do ban out the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, Zai loves that hero.
Both teams are lacking a bit in team fight, but right now I think they're more worried about like losing the lanes too hard and just losing the game that way.
I think Secret is really worried right now about just getting pushed down. Or maybe not. Banning the Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, right, this is a classic It's a counter. You're like, all
Arc
right, so
Warden
what
counter,
counters to Arc Warden? What's the worst? I don't want to play against Spectre. All right, he's gone.
My Spectre gone, PL gone. There's only a handful of carries that are good against him, and they're not like very meta right now.
I mean, it does feel like PSG.LGD is just doing their own thing. They just want to play super fast tempo. Either they win the lanes and win the game. I mean, there's only 2 picks, but when you see Secret, how they're banning already, you just don't have an answer to Arc Warden.
Curious to see. I mean, because this is interesting. Like both these teams have a lot of days. Like,
Yeah.
there are no surprises. Like at least for LGD, there are no surprises here. Like,
mean,
I've been talking about this.
On paper, maybe has like a lot of heroes that are good against Arc Warden, like in theory, like Storm, like Ember, but they're not the strongest laners, and mid one is definitely gonna punish him.
Yeah, mid one has the last pick too, so he'll get to choose the matchup.
Like if they pick an Ember or Storm and they just like reply with a Monkey King, it's gonna be so damn hard for him.
That sounds that sounds like something that could happen.
Is an Earth Shaker removed?
They could also just do something like Lycan and just give maybe like this middle carry kind of hero.
I mean, if you look at these bans though, like a lot of the good stuns have been banned out. Like a lot of the even Chaos.
CK,
Wave,
so you
Jesus
know,
Christ.
The support CK?
No.
No,
I've
no.
heard core CK destroys Arc Warden
Yeah,
from what,
yeah, yeah.
what
Oh,
I've heard
it does,
from people.
it does.
Yeah.
Because you have this Blink Strike,
But then you're a CK and like, I don't know, that hero.
Earth Spirit.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there we go. They got the stun.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Earth Shaker replacement, wasn't it?
Yeah.
stun and team
That's what they
fight.
wanted.
Honestly, a good Earth Spirit just feels like he can do everything.
Yeah.
Like he can save, he can kill, he silences you, he disables,
The
team fight.
The only problem can be the lane. Like
Yeah.
there's some lanes you're just standing there, you want to roll, but every time you roll in, you either die or you run away with 50 HP with a fair fire.
You
like,
need a
ready.
self-sufficient laner, right? Like
Yeah.
you lane him with like something like a Weaver, just put him in that lane, then he can roam around, do stuff, and
Yeah, Weaver.
I
He's
think,
not bad, right?
I think there's two conditions with an Earth Spirit, right? You need a middle hero that can actually threaten the enemy if he rolls on you. And you need to have, like what you said, like a self-sustainable laner, so he doesn't have to be there.
Actually, the Weaver should be getting picked up by Secret here, their next pick. Like,
Yeah.
They're gonna be kind of low in team fight, but I don't think it matters that much. Makes perfect sense.
The top picks from SAP there. Winter Wyvern, Bane, and Silencer, all three very good picks. For
Silencer-
both the meta and for LGD as
Yeah.
well.
LGD is using a lot of the bonus time.
all of it.
15 seconds left.
Okay.
Phoenix.
No,
Phoenix is the outside one.
I
Yeah.
think
Doesn't strike me as particularly good. They already have Ogre, Arc Warden, and
Wow.
Earth Spirit is quite good against the two.
you needed a team fight though, right? Like they
Yeah.
pick Earth Spirit and all of a sudden, because they're like mirroring. Like neither team really had that biggest team
Yeah,
fight
yeah.
besides Pugna, and then one picks up Earth Spirit, and you're like, well, we have to get a team fight.
I feel like Earth Spirit is way scarier than Phoenix. Like Phoenix, wherever he eggs, this Arc Warden is just gonna kill him.
Probably.
Yeah, especially with
More
Bloodlust.
like- Yeah. I mean,
Bloodlust plus Bubble, any hero in there has like what 150 bonus attack speed.
I kind of like the idea though. It's this idea of you're just going on him, right? Like the Phoenix is gonna go in, and then
Yeah.
the Tiny's coming, and hopefully they have some.
But they need some like something that actually makes use of it, like something like a Faceless Void, something like a
Yeah.
Storm that can actually use the distraction. But their army actually likes to play Faceless Void too, which is not too bad against Arc Warden as well.
It's alright.
If you get this like Shadow Blade, you can assassinate him.
PSG.LGD.
And that's
Yeah,
the
there you
Weaver.
go.
I mean, Void
That's a good
would
call.
honestly make a lot of sense now, like, even more than before.
Yeah.
agreed.
You might the thing with Void, like your lineup might just farm too slow. That's what I'm worried about. Like when this Arc Warden, he's gonna get his items. Yeah, there we
But
go.
I do go to
go
Lycan.
for it. All
Because
right.
like I like it. I like it a lot.
I agree.
We already spoke about it like in the first phase.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this guy plays like the best like it.
And Weaver honestly does nothing against Lycan. Ogre does nothing, Arc Warden does nothing,
No.
and Weaver does nothing. Only Earth Spirit is a bit annoying
Yeah.
if you get stunned, but
That's a good thing. Lycan doesn't really he may not win his lane super hard, but he never loses the lane. Even if it's 2v2 or even if you just send him middle, once he gets level 2 in his passive, no one does anything.
You have
to
too
him.
much
He's
region.
kind of
You
the,
avoid too
he's
much.
the perfect sackable lane
He is.
hero, isn't he? Because
Wow.
you just let him get on with it.
yeah, then you just get like a head risk, you have like permanent 13 HP region, and like 80 damage to last it.
Took out
So
some
they do ban out the
bans.
Storm. I would have really loved to see a maybe Storm here, but nope.
Yeah, they might actually put the Tiny mid and then really try to win this game.
It is possible, but it's like super all-in.
LGD's turn to pick.
Little ban.
Underlord ban, really good against the Lycan, of course.
It's kind of odd to me.
I
but-
mean, I think they're either gonna pick like some Ember kind of hero, some DK, or they're just gonna put a tiny mid.
Yeah, the Underlord is a little bit of an odd ban considering they've already picked the Weaver.
I guess it does kind of say they just want to push early, right? That's the one hero that can really just get in there, stop you from doing that.
yeah, that's
It's
actually a thing
changed
to
the
think
way
about.
they
They have Secret have no wave clearing abilities really. Like they can't sit in base and spam spells.
Yeah.
Like when LGD push, they're gonna have to fight them.
Or
That's
also
just
some
how it is.
FY Naga Siren.
Well, then they probably would lose, but
Yeah.
Would you actually like a Naga here? Or
No,
are you memeing?
no.
Okay.
I would not like a
Just
Naga.
Just
here.
memeing
checking. I'm
right
just
now.
making sure. I'm like, this
Something.
guy.
I would want something with a stun or tiny mid.
Stun and middle. All right. Well, but is that?
I don't know. They're going for the idea that they kill buildings through the bubble. Like they want to finish this game. Like they want to finish this game between 25 and 30 minutes.
What's good for mid one here? Like actually for the game, like they could pick Invoker that crushes Leshrac in the lane, but he's not good for the game.
Nice.
And
really bad
also,
dislike
you
it.
can also take the Monkey King.
Could take Monkey King.
Monkey against Lesh is not too good, I think. It's quite tough to lane.
We've seen him play in side lanes too, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to say,
And
he's
then-
not called mid one anymore, he's called side
one.
No, actually Arc Warden, Earth Spirit, I think they can
Yeah, you can
kill
put
the
the
Leshrac
Arc Warden
really
there, yeah.
easily. Yeah, so they might just do that. Pick the Monkey King.
Yeah.
But then even then you're against a Pugna.
Oh, is Kunkka really that bad here? You not like? I mean, he brings team fight, gives you actually catch versus Lycan. No.
I like
Kanka's alright, yeah.
I like it.
Gives
I like
team
it.
fight. Honestly, Arc Warden, the weakness is that the clone can die really quickly and the hero, but if you have the boat effect on you, you have these two heroes that just can't die.
Oh, I like that a lot. It's good. I mean, the only hero it's kind of bad against is Phoenix, but
Bristol.
Whoa!
goodness.
What are we talking about? I don't know.
Like and counter.
what? Sorry, guys, what draft were you watching?
What?
I mean, it's a typical Lycan counter, right? It used to like always be picked against Lycan in almost every game, just to lane against him.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they're
A
doing. it
Zai
seems.
Bristleback.
Oh, so it's Weaver mid.
Yeah, it's a Yapzor Spirit, Zai Bristleback.
No, I think it's a Silent Weaver.
Oh, I don't know, but like I don't know if
Where does the ogre go?
Silent Weaver and Arc Warden mid, I think. Would make the most sense. Because you pressure the Leshrac.
yeah.
So Weaver is mid one.
Yeah,
Mid one's
yeah.
the
But he's gonna play
Weaver.
carry, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Where's the
Nisha,
Pugna?
Nisha plays middle morphling as well, so
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He knows the matchups.
Yeah, he was a middle player too.
so
before.
they're definitely used to this.
All right, this is hype.
Well, Twitter reckons it's a 73% favoriting of Team Secret.
I mean, I'm going to go for the secret too. I actually think this Leshrac is just going to feed middle against his Arc Warden plus Earth Spirit, and then he's not going to have a game.
I think this game all comes down to like Zai. Zai is super. I mean, Bristleback and Zai are the exact same. They're either feast or famine. You either die like 3 times in lane and your game's just over, or you just take over and you're unkillable. I think it actually comes down a lot to how Zai lanes.
I like. It all depends on how. Yeah, this lane matchup versus Lycan. I think he should be fine though. So I think I would go with LGD. I think they can pull this off. I don't think this Arc Warden is going to do that much in this game.
I agree. If I had to pick, I'd pick PSG.LGD. I think they have better team fight, and they have better lanes even. I mean, Charles. I mean, Tiny. That's the one good thing about him.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose lanes,
Yeah.
support or like middle. He just does not lose a lane.
Okay, both of you on the LGD.
I want a secret.
You're a Secret.
Yeah, I think the Leshrac is actually going to be a non-factor as well, just because of the lane should be terrible for him. So, yeah.
All right, okay. Those are the 3 predictions from our panel members. All 3 have predicted. It's a split decision as far as the panel is concerned. As we head into the first game of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it is right around the corner. Your commentary team are ready.
It brings a tear to the eye every time I see that wonderful intro, and every time I get to cast in Malaysia. It has been so long since I've been in this beautiful country and get to cast in front of a live audience. Kyle, I'm glad you're with me, man.
Me too, man. This is my first time. This is gonna be, I don't think we could have got a better game to start things off. We had different twists.
It's not our predictable. Oh, but it's like our Terrorblade and PL. We can sort of ignore you. Like one of you guys can be banned, but we get a different draft. We get a Leshrac. We get a Bristleback. We were bouncing through the draft, actually wondering, like, okay, how's LGD going to play this once you first phase a Pugner as well?
There's a lot of different. I mean, it started off a bit stealthy, right? Like, oh no, not again, Arc Warden Ogre. But Lesh, Bristle, like these are 2 of my favorite and most played heroes. I think they both fit what both teams needed in this sort of lineup.
Yep.
A lot of the prep days, or off days rather, were spent conceptualizing how do we beat an Arc Warden, and I would compare it to a Tinker in a lot of ways, in that you need to take down his towers, limit the map, so that the constant clone wave spam doesn't just force you into your base. And LGD is just somewhat all in on that concept, and it's going to be really cool.
It's kind of funny because we were bouncing it around a lot. I know, like between the analysts, where it's like, okay, how do we kill it off? And we're mentioning things like Phantom Assassin, like, okay, like you can just kill the clone instantly this way, but this is a whole different way. It's like, okay, you'll never reach that point. You'll never let the Arc Warden get the double Midas farm, which I think we were saying before,
Well,
like, you
just-
can't contest it, right?
No, the issue with Arc is that he's going to shove your lanes. I don't. You can't pick carries like PA that even though you have good matchups, it's like Slark, right? BSJ
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I mean, we could see it. Like, no, we won't, BSJ.
It's Slark. Come on.
It's not gonna happen.
That guy's in the trash right now, but let's get into the game. Game 1 of this best of 3 winners bracket semi-final. The first major of the DPC season. A lot of points up for grabs if you get through. Guaranteed top 3 position, and it escalates the points as you move up every single slot. Not to mention the money.
Yeah, I think this mid matchup is going to be very key. I think Ame is going to be going up against Weaver mid, which is I'd say a split matchup. But the Lesh, to me, we haven't seen Leshrac in how long, but if there was a guy to play it, it's going to be maybe.
It really is. I'm actually wondering like if they even keep these lanes, if we start to see that lane rotation. The panel was talking about mid one maybe even taking this to the side lane and playing it more as a core and allowing Nisha to actually jump towards the middle, because like they're both very familiar with both sides of the role. Like Team Secret don't lock their safe or their mid lane. Good luck, Weppers. We see you on camera, our observer for today.
Oh, they're actually both teams.
This morning.
Both teams are swapping. Well, they're going to put maybe
Yeah.
mid, getting a read that, I don't know, they have to expect Weaver there, so we'll see.
We're not going to get many of the runes, though. While they're doing this swapping, in comes Team Secret, looking towards Chalice. The rune's already picked up, and trouble for Chalice. He went for the tree toss. No stuns, no space to be created. Zai moves forward, and they've found first blood. Team Secret open it up, and it's the local boy, mid one, who spills it.
What a fitting way to start off this bracket stage. It's so key on a Weaver as well. That's a very fast bottle he'll be able to pick up, and maybe does win the block mid, but so hard that, you know, there's no glyph anymore on that initial couple of waves. So this isn't as big of an advantage as it used to be, because you can't really double wave effectively. So it's just going to be a trade. Meantime, Phoenix going to rotate back towards bottom.
So we actually get a little bit more of our stable lanes. So it will be Ogre and Arc Warden bottom to work against the Phoenix, as well as Lycan, giving Lesh and Weaver into the mid, and that leaves Zai as the offlaner. But FY is going to do his best to try and zone him out as the support, but that's why Yapso is there to rotate and make sure that they can get close enough to at least threaten the support and stop the free farm of Chalice on the safe lane. Because this was the other toss-up, right? Like, who's meant to be winning this top lane? Does Zai have a really good lane against the Tiny when you include the Pugna factor?
I'd say you end up trading here. You might see some kills. It'll probably be a bit chaotic, but you get so many stick charges to a Tiny Pugna that they can constantly spam spells. So it's very difficult for a Bristleback to ever really win this lane.
With the avalanche and the tree here combining with the blast. You knew it was going to hit hard. And Zai not respecting the space.
Yep. This is going to be a really cool game to watch. LGD is going to try and just suffocate Secret, take their towers early on, and abuse their high mobility and just really just damage output. They can take towers and Roshan very easily, whereas Secret, they're going to bank on that inevitable Arc Warden factor and a bunch of sustain items, most likely going to be purchased by Zai. But if his game is poor, already in a tough spot up top, no one's going to really be able to sit on towers and keep them alive.
Doesn't really feel too like Team Secret would then want to rotate the lanes. Like Arc Warden needs to be able to scale really well, and like, how is he meant to do that? By moving up top to try and help out a Bristleback for a gang? Does Weaver do the same type of thing?
Well, it's like with you, Weaver is the one that's going to have to get active. Mid one specifically, just finding ways to get active. Here already, level 2, he's got a haste rune on his way down bottom.
Yeah, they have an action rune. They'd love to try and find a kill onto X-Nova. With that one creep dying, he's going to hit level 2 and then have Icarus dive. So this gang, it shouldn't work, but they don't force the dive out from X-Nova. Ame stands strong with his support.
Yeah, well done as well. If he's forced to dive there, all of a sudden he's able to be pressured by just the 2 heroes left in lane, but he's too experienced for that.
Mid one at least moves very quickly between the lanes, both Shikuchi as well as the haste rune, so he doesn't lose that much time in mid, but if you look at the CS difference, it is 16-6 for maybe, and mid one's realized there is a very big sentry ward that almost killed it, but Zai's in trouble up on top. The blast will do the work. No matter how tanky you are, going underneath the tier 1 tower is problematic to say the least.
Yeah. And not only does he have a sentry, but he's got a ward on the high ground as well. So every lightning is going to be able to find the Weaver even while invis on the high ground. So it's a really key advantage.
Mid one's got to get back into this mid lane if they're going to have any kind of chance. Double the CS, the difference. Tiny's been having the time of his life on top lane too. 28 last hits, 10 of them being denies. Zai is 5-2 on this Bristleback. He can't even attack when he gets decrypified, and always going to be fearful of the pop damage. Maybe a bit of a rebuttal on bottom lane, but Puppey, does he have the mana? He doesn't actually have it. With stick charges, he would have the mana for a Fire Blast, the Spark Wraith, the Wolves stay with him. So Nisha, unable to get this harassment he wants into the Lycan direct.
Yeah, bear in mind, the way Arc Warden works, that Flux spell that's usually maxed out nowadays, it's not effective if you have a unit next to you as you run away, and Lycan will always have a friendly wolf by his side.
Oh boy, Zai, maybe! It's Yapsor coming in from the side. It's still a 1-1 trade-off. The Pugna will fall, and Challenge gets back underneath the tower, but Yapsor, he was almost there in the nick of time, but second too late.
Really nice rotate. Zai is going to have a lot of trouble, but the thing about Bristleback is you can always recover, you can take stacks. You get to a point where they try to kill you, but you get a turnaround while you stay alive. Maybe you run over to a shrine and all of a sudden your game is perfectly even, but right now he is certainly suffering. Only 1,000 net worth, 40 above Puppey, that's not where you want to be.
I don't think I've seen a single Spark Wraith actually hit a hero. Even that point, X-Nova standing on top of it. They move down to bottom lane. Nisha begins his TP. He knows there's no stuns available, and this will allow the TP out.
Nice.
It is the one real weakness of LGD's lineup. Chalice is the only one that really brings an instant stun.
Yeah.
Leshrac, a little bit more of a cast time for it, but he has one too. But that's it.
Really well done by Nisha. Not only that, he goes to the tier 1, like just so calm. This is, I believe, his first time on stage at a major as well, so it'd be cool to see how he responds to the pressure.
FY on the run. Puppey's using his illusions to keep that distance nice and close. FY, well, he's in trouble, mainly because mid one's right behind him, continuing the run back past the tier 2 tower, but maybe now Team Secret are in too deep as maybe himself rotates over. The stuns are good onto FY, but he's just hanging around. Your turn on the Pulse Nova, and Ogre Magi, for all his thickness, will still fall.
Yep. Mid one on that first invis actually, he right-clicked to attack Puppey's illusion to try and deny it by accident, or maybe he can save his Ogre by landing the kill a bit faster. But they 1-for-1, no big deal.
They're going to try and gank up again on bottom lane. X-Nova doesn't have his Icarus dive away, but it's Ame who's the primary focus target. The Spark Wraiths are down. X-Nova's already beginning his TP away to safety. Puppey was looking to cancel it, decides to attempt, just throw the stun into Ame, allowing mid one to get on a killing spree. That's now his 3rd kill on this Weaver, while Yapsor tries to contest for the 6-minute
nice
rune
block.
over on top, but maybe in a better position. Yapsor's going to look for a deny against Roshan, and he almost got it. The lightning from maybe ensured the kill.
And I love watching these two teams play against each other because even though there's going to be kills and deaths all over the map, both teams are playing the game well. That Lycan death that Ame had, he bought Gloves of Haste before going down. Ensures he loses no gold whatsoever. Yapsor goes for the Roche deny, which is going to be the right play the moment that roll is blocked, but maybe, of course, saving the spell, ensuring he gets that last touch.
Nisha's on the run once more. He'll get hit by that second Fire Spirit. Begins his TP once again. Maybe this is one of these things too we have to start looking towards, is the fact that, well, one, Zai dies up on top lane with maybe's rotation, but two, the fact that LGD's stuns, how's it going to work as mid one is the one getting a lot of farm? You normally need to have like big lockdowns against a Weaver, and this just doesn't exist for LGD. How much of a clock does that put them on to push the towers?
Exactly. They have to bank on not just the push, but their team fight. Whereas Secret, you're going to have 3 heroes just playing lanes. Arc Warden, Weaver are going to rely on their for just mobility, the clone spam. Bristle's just going to be just big and burly, dare you to bring 3 heroes up to kill him, but it's all about making space. How many times do we see Arc Warden just carry a game that looked unwinnable?
Rolling Boulder down to bottom lane. They'll get the kick out on top of FY, but no instant follow-up, not while he's got the stick charges available. As Ame is going to come towards mid lane against mid one. That's not the lane he wants to be in at all. He needs to be that leech.
This is one of the downsides of running Lycan in the offlane like this. At a certain point, you don't feel comfortable staying there anymore, especially when the enemy supports are Ogre Earth Spirit. They have no real traditional offlaner. They could bring Chalice down there and look to battle. They've warded heavily for bottom has LGD, so this is not an area of the map they want to abandon.
Do you think that's also a response to the fact that Team Secret are continuously keeping 2 supports on the bottom lane?
Yeah.
Like, it's still the top lane. Like, you got Tiny off to a brilliant start. Can he actually stand his ground as Zai is now able to get solo experience? Because Tiny can't zone out Zai by himself.
No, definitely not. But you're happy getting like 60% of this lane. You don't want to keep playing into a Bristle because it just, you might kill him, but you're going to lose so much health and mana in the process that it's almost as good as him getting counter kills.
FY right underneath that Radiant Observer Ward. Yapsol rolls through. He was actually looking for X Nova as well. FY very quickly dead, and with a Spark Ray chasing down X Nova. LGD do not want to hang around for this. That Sentry Ward they had planted was a little bit too far to the north. They do not see Secret's vision. That's what set it up.
Yep, they also saw Nisha on their own ward, and the moment that Secret responds with their mid player, you need to ensure that you don't heavily commit because you can get punished very hard. But the bright spot is maybe still top net worth in game, very farmed, as is Chalice, but you can't really do anything just yet for LGD. You want that blink on Tiny, you need a, preferably the HOD, which is just now completed by Ame, but he still needs that level 6.
But so, like, where does that initiation you're talking about, but when can LGD also force down buildings?
Yep.
When the Lycan gets stronger, Puppey under the cover of smoke managed to slip in behind the lines to get an Observer Ward down. The fact his smoke broke probably knows the X Nova's neighborhood as the Icarus dive forward. Pugner managed to get the Nether Ward down. Not enough stuns. Mid one will do the damage instead. Chikuching through the Pugner, but support is always there. Support for support going down. As maybe just turned on the Pulse Nova, burns all the mana he's got. Or half of it.
Bounty runes are going to be spawning in 20 seconds.
Mid one being a real pain in the butt, trying to steal the Ancients from Ame and continuously harassing down this Lycan. Helm of the Dominator is nice, at least you got a clap. The mid one's going to keep the pressure on and force LGD to react to them and not the other way around.
I like what he's doing here. He's just trying to ensure that he gets these bounties. He'll get the one. In the meantime, Secret, Zion, Puppey, they shrine up and then they take theirs. So they'll claim 3 as a side.
Yeah, that's really good for mid one too. Like all the harassment damage he takes is 2 bottle charges and it's 2 full bottles.
Yeah, I like the way
Thanks to
he's
the bounties.
playing. He's been abandoning mid to ensure that his Earth Spirit can get that level 6 ASAP. That's the big tool Secret has to contest the inevitable LGD pushes, and here comes a big one.
Careful
right
with
now.
mid one. He's right underneath that Sentry Ward. They see him, but it's the Invis Rune of Lashrak. Does he try and go for the stun over onto mid one? Can't really find it.
Oh, wow.
Mid one backs around the side. Invis has still got another good 10 seconds left on it, and he just stands still, waiting for the stun from Maybe. They explode. Mid one, a big streak to take. And it all goes into the hands of Maybe, but Secret, they're bringing in supports. Bloodlust up the tower, try and force him back. Netherward's still in position. So spamming abilities not what Secret really want to do, but they may have no other choice.
And here's the power of Arcord.
Bubble
Unlike
it
a
up.
Tinker, yeah, you can bubble your towers twice, and there's Yapsor level 6. He's not revealed on the daytime vision just yet. Now he will be. And if you're LG, you got to be scared. He represents a ton of damage output, and I don't know if you're comfortable taking this sort of fight until Chalice is ready to get here.
It is amazing how fast he gets levels too. Like he's approaching level 7, but it's the fact that the Earth Spirit hasn't been shut down. You've already got the Magnetize on the field, while Phoenix doesn't have Supernova available just yet.
Yep.
It's all taking a little bit more time for them. FY also shy of the level 6 mark. Not that his is the big one. Yapsor rolling boulder in towards mid, looking for maybe able to get the kick. Mid one's going to be right on top of it, turn on the Pulse Nova, but Magnetize as well, trying to keep him silenced up. Can't toggle, can't switch. Mid one just wants one more hit, but the Magnetize with the rock down, it's enough. Yapsor, in Yapsor style, once again, ensures a kill for the support team.
Yeah, really well played. He made sure to get just in range while tanking tower to grab that Urn Charge as well, and the aggro tips.
Yeah, they've been bouncing him back and forth a little bit. There is at least some fun between these teams.
Well, bottom lane FY, he'll be fine. He's keeping out just in time.
Yep. He'll survive the double damage rune as well. Mid one will be able to bottle up and secure. This opens up for more contesting, and this is not what Ame wants. Yapsor, was that a blind roll-up? He just felt it was right, and Lycan will fall. Team Secret, they are being so aggressive when it's meant to be LGD, who are meant to be queuing themselves up to get in there, and now maybe they can. Blink daggers on Tiny.
That was actually a sick play from mid one. He scouted with the Weaver Bugs because he had a bottle charge going, found the Lycan, and all of a sudden, as you said, collect a free kill.
And then he looks for more. Double damage, chasing after Maybe. Wants to keep his distance. Remember, this is nighttime, so Maybe won't know exactly, but the DD's only got another 5 seconds left, so it's not long to fight.
Yeah. Bear in mind, this is a Hood Bristleback. You're no longer really able to threaten him with all of LGD's cores, the exception to that Lycan. But we saw when his ult fades, you no longer really have the ability to stay in a fight, and that's where Lycan was heavily nerfed. We saw this hero a ton a few patches ago, but 130 seconds on your level 1 ult, like heavily punished if it's
They're here
ever
to
wasted.
fight. But into the bubble, Charles will have to blink it pretty hard now the bubble's gone. That is the real Arc Ward, and instead they go underneath the tower in the mid. Earth Spirit, will he survive? Able to get a double kickoff. Then the follow-up stuns the towers doing the damage to Charles, and Zai has arrived. They want to get the hell out of here. X-Nova, no Icarus dive available. He may have to Nova just to survive. You've got the extra support. FY's nearby. X-Nova still on the run, trying to get up the river. There finally goes the Nova, and maybe arrives. Hits the stun. They're draining outside. The Hood makes him tanky, but Like is doing the same type of fighting. Nisha and Zai, 2 cores to fall, and they're not done yet. The captain of Team Secret is not home and host. The army runs forward, and Puppey will fall. LGD finally getting some aggression, but are we really done? Mid one, as she juke around the trees for maybe.
No.
Yulsep is up, they look for the stun.
What a
Yapsaw! The silence, canceling the split earth. There to save his core. They don't have many stuns. And when you're silenced up, they basically had none.
Really well done there by Ame, specifically rotating in to ensure that he would be there in time for the pincer. Mid one, a little bit of tunnel vision. He's chasing down the LGD cores, but all of a sudden there's a lichen on your face, and that's why we saw TNC pick up this hero earlier in the tournament. It was successful even though they lost the game, and I think that this is what LGD prepared, expecting for that Arc Warden first phase. And it's just all about keeping the pressure going, maintain tempo. And you can see right here, look at Ame. He's going to ult from the low. He's going to ult like right about now, and he's got that Centaur creep. Mid one still chasing. He's thinking about killing the egg, but all of a sudden, stunned up, and you're just dead. And we saw, though, the power of the double Necro book in that initial engagement. I mean, even though Arc Warden's one of the strongest late-game heroes, you still apply so much damage output with just that one item pickup, which, again, in previous patches, was made significantly cheaper. That's why you see it picked up first.
Yeah. But also we saw the power from Ame. Wonderful thing, but also this last little play from Yapsaw, the perfect silence timing. And LGD, they would have liked to continuously claim more. If they got all 3 cores from this push, Secret would have been really reeling. Instead, the advantage, it does get to swing the way of LGD. Has been pretty close the entire way, but now it's like 2.5, 3K. There's your Yules, but you're going after a bristleback. Like, good luck.
And you can see that's the reason it's 10th picked here, up by Secret. You can just plant a Hood Bristle with Treads. He's got 1,400 health, a ton of resist. They have an Arcane Rune right now on the Lesh. Maybe wants to get aggressive, take some objectives. Weaver top, and Arc Warden in a triple camp. You know, Secret's totally fine preserving the status quo. It's LGD that feel pressured to make moves.
Mid one breaks the smoke on 2, has no vision around the tree line, so Charles just blinks forward. There's Yule Scepter up. Will they connect on the stun? Yes, they will. No time for time lapse. Meanwhile, FY is pressuring that bottom tier 2 tower. He's got the Nether Ward down to try and protect himself while the catapult's there. Just blast, do damage, force rotations, but here comes Yapsaw, connects on the stun. FY will not get away. But he still did such heavy damage to this tower. Yep. Even with the fortification, it slows down the push on top. But
and not only that, he forces the Earth Spirit TP. Yes, you die, but you're trading for that 20 seconds your team now gets up top. And you got the tower damage, as you mentioned. So no longer can you defend this tier 1. That's the sort of high-level play that both these teams are adept at making. Always trying to put pressure in more than one lane.
Puppey, stuns coming in. Mid one finished his TP, but thanks to the sentry ward on the hillside, LGD are fully aware. They throw down an extra sentry ward next to their ops. They see exactly which direction mid one's going. LGD just have all the information to make the best decisions.
And it's so cool. You can sort of feel the flow of the game as these teams recognize when they're strong. LGD knows they have that time. They saw Yapsaw rotating over through that ward they have mid. They back out 5 or 6 seconds before he would have been in range. And Secret can't chase because there's Ame now with his ultimate ready, looming in the wings in the event that they were to over-pursue. And it's just really cool to watch how these teams have such a great read on how they need to play, where to take losses.
So what's that next timing then? We say like LGD is now in a good spot. So Secret looked for the early aggression. They got some of it. Now LGD are back in the fighting seat. Can Secret still delay? The Mines is done on the Arc Warden. Do you just create space? And how do you actually do that?
Just keep doing what you're doing. I love the way LGD warded. When you're playing against the type of lineup Secret has, you want to place deep lane wards and try and ensure that you can get into the enemy jungle before they're able to push out your lanes far. So they have this one fresh one up top that's going to see that, I guess like side jungle camp area. That'll try and protect their woods. They have another one on the other entrance to their jungle. They want to ensure that that standard Radiant mirror move when you invade enemy jungle isn't going to be able to go unpunished.
They're going to come over now. Ame was trying to scan out with his wolves, just ensuring that Roshan's not being done. We'll also start stealing the Ancients away from Team Secret. Zai is tasked with defending the mid, and there are multiple hoods up. Zai's got both Vanguard as well as Hood, but mid one also committed into buying the Hood before he started going into even, like, Dragonlance, before anything else.
Yep, I don't blame him. It's all about survivability. You trust that you will have the damage if you can just kite through the Lycan ult, live through the Leshrac mana pool, the Phoenix Egg.
They're looking towards bottom lane. Team Secret would love to have a fight here.
Yeah.
Second TP, actually it was the third TP. Third movement of Team Secret was actually cancelled. I don't know if that was intentional. I think it was it mid one TPing out towards the shrine? Either way, it got cancelled out, so Team Secret were looking to have 3 players to try and chase down the Lycan, and they ended up only having the 2 supports.
And another thing to keep in mind is that Secret, once they always have either Yapsa or Zai on some hero that's going to buy team fight items. They're going to have a Hood and a Crimson Guard finished up real soon. No one on LGD can afford to buy these items, so you're going to get to a point in the mid game where Secret's going to just have a Pipe Crimson. That represents like 1,500 health on all their heroes.
Well, cannot stop the TP out of X-Nova, so he'll get to survive while FY will claim that mid tier 1 tower. Team Secret still hungry for kills.
Yep. You got Necro 3 finished on Lyca, and this is LGD's timing, about as close to a power spike as you're going to get. They have Bloodstone finished now on Maybe as well. Like, this is go time.
It's before the next item of Nisha's arrived. Like, he doesn't have the Maelstrom up just yet, so he doesn't have that level of damage. And Zai, well, he's pretty tanky still, but can't share it. He's looking to finish the Crimson Guard. He'll have it in about 200-ish gold. So they look for the bounty runes.
You can watch, he just pops the Hood and walks straight up the high ground.
It's like mid one actually didn't get the bottom bounty rune. It went the way of FY. FY, Chalice, and Mame, they all managed to get the bounties.
The lead for LGD continuing to grow, but at the same time, this is where your peak strength. You know that Midas kind of puts you on a bit of a clock.
Yep.
They have the Wolf Creep. Love to see that. And I think Roche might be the right decision here.
Well, at least they know they're not going up against anything like an ES, like Echo Slam. There's no Black Hole. There's no instant initiation. They're going to burn a lot of mana to get through it. And so far, they're not going to use Shapeshift. Necrobook is on cooldown for another 7 seconds. They chip away, but then the Spark Rays start to arrive from Team Secret. And LGD think twice about it. Very easy scout out, and Team Secret was smoked up ready to fight, but then LGD, they're going to smoke themselves.
Oh, the Necro popped, but not smoked. This is a very easy move to read if you're Secret, and they're going to just bait Zai up in front. You don't care if he gets initiated on.
It is nighttime, however. So the Necro books, yeah, they've been popped, but there was no vision from Team Secret to see them yet.
But it did prevent them from going down the line they were thinking of, but that also could have just been Zai's body, who, as you say, Hood Crimson, you can't initiate on this target. And I love what Arc's doing. Yep. He placed them on the high ground. This is one of the big complaints players have, is that even while smoked, you pop these Spark Rays.
Yep. It actually went onto the exposed Necro book too, so at least on that front, they can't complain.
Yeah.
But LGD, once again, they posture around Roshan. The Spark Rays are at the open pit. FY will have to tank that one up.
Yep. But they know Necro's used, and you can see that gold advantage from LGD just got cut in half over the last 2-3 minutes. Really nothing changed except Nisha got a few more Midases off.
LGD is backing out. You've already got X-Nova and FY moved up to the top lane. They need to add some momentum. Right now, Team Secret have been able to hold 5 players just around this Roche pit with no problem. Note too that Nisha, he finished up the Maelstrom, so at least got that for the fight, but he can't counter the split push. He can't put the clones out yet because the BTs are the next item in his progression.
Yeah, but still, Secret's doing such a great job just pressuring behind Zai. How do you go for this target?
Well, they're going to go in on top of the mid lane, but it's a hole on the Bristleback. He tanks through so much, he didn't even have the activatable of the Hood of Defiance up and running yet. Now he'll run down through the bottom river. Ame will look at him, but doesn't really feel like he can do much.
No, and bear in mind, Nisha's not there. He farmed the entire triple camp in the top Radiant Shrine area. He got a couple Midases off, and now he's farming another hard camp with his Necro books. This is 4-on-5 pressure, and still LGD just kind of pulled around the map because they don't want to lose this key objective in their mid tower.
Do you actually like him going in for the full Mjolnir as well instead of finishing the BTs next?
I think he can get away with it here. It's tough to split push in a game like this, I feel. There's so many ways LGD can take out your clone, and you need to be strong as possible to defend Roshan. I think you're trying to, you don't care if the game is slower, but your progression is not quite as fast as possible because you know LGD is the lineup that has more of a clock.
LGD have smoked up once again. 4 heroes only included. Maybe is the only one not involved. And they're looking towards the bottom lane, looking towards potentially mid one who does not have a TP scroll.
Gotta
He's
be careful.
Shikuching up the lane. They put the sentry down. He's a little bit further away. If he stops to farm, he might be in trouble. Here's your jump. They get the avalanche off at mid one into Invis and over towards the trees. He's so fast, time lapse. He's kind of got to do it as they toss forward mid one. Can he get it off? Yes, he can. Back on down, but then the stun. Is it going to be enough? Mid one back into Shikuchi, continuing the run away from level 3 Necrobooks. That's all the vision they need. And X-Nova hit him with the Fire
Oh, look
Spirits.
mid.
That's where the burn is. But yep, mid lane, mass TPs are on the way in. Zion's already there, and 4 heroes from LGD. They want this kill so then they can just move on towards Roshan. Zai, however, is the kill they really can't claim yet. And he even wants to global taunt them. Sure, why not?
But it's all about where did mid one die. He's as far from Roche as possible.
That's really nice for Zai. He just picked up an arcane rune. I can't really do much more with it, however. The bottom lane's been pressured in by Arme. So TP down by Zai to work with the Clone of Nisha.
I think that kill didn't do anything for LGD because it's where mid one's dying. He's away from any objectives, and Ame, sure, you can push that lane all the way to the tier 3 if you want, but you can't threaten it.
Well, they're coming to the tier 2 tower, and it goes Puppy up and down and dead. But then again, maybe there's a trade-off. Nope, Zai can't control X-Nova. Icarus dives away. Spirit Vessel wasn't enough more of a chip, but they can get Chalice. He'll move back past that top rune, but stunned up by Yapsor, tossing away at least some level of the damage. While in mid, FY's kept alive by this Sunray. Zai just tanked through it. 2 heroes down now. Arme tries to tip the balance, but the kick once again. Yapsor, how many times is he just going to stun lock up LGD?
This is a Crimson Pipe versus a team that has neither, Toby. Not only that, Secret's got a Spirit Vessel up, and
They're going for bounties now.
take that 2 for 2. Game pretty much tied up at this point. Less than 1,000 gold separating these teams.
But Nietzsche's been farming for the last however many minutes uncontested.
Yeah.
Like, he finished the full Mjolnir, and I was worried he wouldn't get to his BTs in time. No need to worry.
We saw this a lot in the EG Fnatic series where EG had a lead and it was solely the Arc Warden. And you don't necessarily know if it's enough, but after watching those games, I think we're all pretty convinced by now. Yeah, that 6-slotted Arc Warden, he uses a 10k lead to close out games.
Yeah. We were still wondering, like, does Arc Warden get banned in the first 3? Is this something you want to commit for? Is this the type of Dota that you want to play? Because it seems like a lot of the teams, they're very happy to do it, especially the Western teams.
Yeah.
Let's just go for it. EG's been pulling it out.
The concern with LGD's lineup is that they want shorter fights. They need skirmishes, one quick kill into another, like we saw in that Radiant Jungle fight about 10 to 15 minutes ago. Secret, you have no issues with long engagements. Your damage is constant and steady as long as your heroes stay alive, and they're itemizing purely for survivability, and here comes Roche.
Yeah, they're doing it so quick, and LGD are out of position. X-Nova and Chalice are not there ready to fight. They just bubbled it up, and Roshan comes down. Aegis gets into the hands of Nisha. Now you've got 3 Arc Wardens to deal with. Clone and Real, but mid, Yapsor just initiates forward. FY, he had the force up to get a little bit more distance, but it's difficult. The rocks keep dropping, and the magnetized FY's ears ring all the way to the grave.
And Spirit Vessel, Earth Spirit damage. That's why Yapsor loves this hero so much. One of his trademark 3. They just keep running into the enemy jungle. Look at Ame.
Yep.
He's got a Shadow Blade, though.
Ame is isolated. If they actually have any level of detection, as a sentry ward on Puppy. But you're pretty certain that Yapsor, after he finishes the Yule Scepter, should be buying up some dust.
Yeah, but you got all the Necro units and the HOD creep. That's as good as a hero kill.
Ame will TP back. Smoke and dust, both purchased by Yapsor. They are going to continue the hunt.
Yeah. I'm concerned. Maybe he's Leshrac. He can output a ton of damage, especially when he gets that level 20-50 Pulse Nova damage talent. It's just a concern. Like, it's going to take 5 to 6 seconds just to burn through the pipe. In that time, a third of your Lycan ult is already squandered. I mean, I just feel like they're going to have major damage issues, not to mention how hard it is for them to lock down Secret's heroes. They're all in on this idea that Chalice +1 is going to find an initial pickoff, and then they can chase for more. But Secret's not giving them that opportunity. They constantly place Zai between them and any sort of danger that PSG.LGD might output.
Maybe LGD can then start playing for like the bigger team fights. Like Charles was actually tossing up between both the BKB, and now he's gone back in for a Silver Edge as his item pickup. If he realizes too, he needs to be able to break the Bristleback. That's the only way they can try and negate his frontline presence. But if that happens, I wonder how long it's going to be before, like, does mid one go greedy in his build and go only for himself, or does he actually even think about buying the Aghanim Scepter? If you can have that front liner that can just run up the hills, is this a sacrifice you're willing to make on your Weaver?
Maybe later. For now, I think his BKB queued up is the right option. It's just about your personal survivability. You can't lose a single core on Secret at the start of an engagement, and you don't want anyone to be a target for a tiny into Lesh stun combo.
Yep.
And look at how, like, they're just so powerful. I don't know if you can actually team fight into the Secret lineup.
He's going to attempt to at least go for a trade-off, so avoid the team fight. But hey, that's why you've got an Arc Warden clone. Gets Midas used as well as top lane defense, while Zai is the frontline warrior.
And look,
Sees the
see
TP coming in. That would be ballsy to complete from FY, but now he's stuck up on top lane. LGD do not have the numbers. Lycan is adding a lot of pressure towards mid lane. The tier 2 tower will fall, and Yapzor is already beginning his TP back. Same with the Arc Ward, so LGD looking to wrap up a couple of pieces if it's going to be possible. No way to get the stun onto Arme, so he'll be able to retreat back out again.
LGD doing a great job keeping the game equalized.
LGD, they're coming all the way down. Zai tossed up to begin with. He wants to keep fighting, looking towards maybe. He has BKB. Does he really want to burn it? X-Nova will create a little bit of space, just getting the sprites out, but mid one, he is so fast when you've got that Chikuchi. He's going in again, looking to go in deeper. The Spark Wraith that's going to actually go into Chalice. And looks like LGD for now are in safety, but Zai, he's closing up the gap by coming in on the side. And this is at the 30-minute mark. This is for the bounties.
So great watching these core players. We saw a lot of abilities being saved, but I just can't believe that maybe held on to his BKB. He sees the Arc Warden clone coming in, but he's aware that Earth Spirit's middle, knows there's no real threat because there's no stun represented by Secret in his lane, and he just walks it off.
That's it's a well-read situation for LGD, but this is what we hope for coming into this series.
Yeah.
It's
This is quality Dota.
yeah, this could easily be the grand final. Like, as far as the two best teams we've seen playing during this tournament, playing the most crisp, clean, and with a purpose Dota, LGD and Secret are number 1 and number 2. Chalice is looking for some kill. It's a clone, however, the time's out now. So nothing to be gained. But
And
they do still reveal the fact that FY is up here.
Nisha just pulling further and further ahead of the game. Gonna go for a Manta here. Not something I saw a couple other Arc Wardens pick up, but it will just increase drastically his ability to split push lanes and add raw damage output to team fights, even if his real hero isn't there.
Great observer wards again from LGD, sees the TP over, and the aggressive move by Zai as well as mid one. That's why FY is able to TP back. Now it's back off cooldown. BKB completed for the Lycan. You've got the sustain as well, trying to come in from FY. Have they actually got it for, well, Chalice? He thought he could find a kill, but now there's multiple Arc Wardens there, and you don't want to go over it, do you? The stuns? Wow, maybe! They burn through the Aegis the Immortal. The Nova will crack before the Aegis the Immortal has completed his resurrection. So they didn't get the extra stun in LGD.
Yep.
Is that what you wanted? It was nearing the end of the Aegis life.
The thing is, LG would have loved that fight where they the team of the Aegis, right? But Secret did such a good job guarding the pit that at a certain point, PSG.LGD, you just have to give up. And that great execution on the Arc Warden means absolutely nothing. And now they just push mid. Tiny's dead. No egg.
Yep. And how do you defend this? Like, without those big team fight abilities, you can at least slow it down, but I suppose you don't really slow anything down. Nisha's got the range, Nisha's got the clones. Nisha's even got the illusion rune to make it better. The other clone goes to defend bottom lanes. The side lane pressure, which may force Team Secret back, is just denied. And Secret keep the pressure up themselves, up to the tier 2 tower.
And you can't fight this if you're LGD.
Chalice, he's looking for the jump, but the bubble is up. FY is going to move over as well. They'll toss him back in. Mid one, time lapse off all the damage. You can decrepify him up, but Chikuchi available, and now the distance is created between Secret and LGD. The tier 2 tower on top will be denied, but that is the last remaining outer tower. Actually, no, we still have the tier 2 on bottom, but it's pretty close to death.
Just feels like the Arc Warden's net worth is just inevitably creeping upwards. It's like playing against the Serral Zerg. You just know that at some point he's going to overwhelm you. Was behind, now nearing 4,000 gold ahead. I mean, how do you compete against double Midas?
I really don't know. How does he actually itemize as well? Like, is there a point to building into the level 3 Necro books, or does he just look for that raw damage, replace the Aquila, and beat into LGD directly.
I like the butterfly choice. He
Bottom
might.
lane, maybe you're a long way out. You may need to use your BKB. Rolling boulder forward by Yapsor. He's going to miss it, as he will burn the BKB and begin the TP. Team Secret. They have nothing to penetrate that immunity.
Yeah, and just bear in mind, Lesh is one of those heroes that does static damage in a team fight. You can't really buy any items that make you more powerful. You just have more propensity to like stay in fights, and you don't run out of mana anymore. But the Arc Warden is not the same type of hero, Toby.
Yep.
Every item he picks up will drastically increase the DPS, and it's doubled if there's a clone.
This is exactly what you were worried about. LGD, you know what they try and do. They try and go against the Arc Warden, they try and push, but the window is gone. The window is well gone. They cannot force the issue against Team Secret anymore, so they have to turn into superior team fight. They have to turn into superior damage. If they win one, they're still running a Lycan. He's really good at pushing down the lanes, but how do you win that team fight? Is it all on maybe? He's level 22. You're approaching.
It's not just maybe. I actually think a lot of the game is on X-Nova. Phoenix is going to be so key in this fight, especially when he gets that level 3 egg. He needs to be on top of the Arc Warden as they initiate on Nisha to force the secret heroes away so they can pick up that critical kill.
And it just seems so hard to do. Like, if the Silver Edge gets completed over on time, then maybe they can actually break through the Bristleback. But Nisha's a whole different problem. Because it's basically 6 Nishas every fight. That's a lot of Nisha. Yapsor and Zai under the cover of smoke are looking for a hunt, mid 1. Claims the 35-minute bounty runes. In fact, Team Secret claim all 4 35-minute bounty runes. It's a good day at the office. 7.4k they get from the bounties to the 4.8k that LGD has managed to claim.
Look how confident Zai's playing middle. Bear in mind, the warding of LGD had spotted 3 heroes in other areas of the map, but they still don't feel confident initiating on Zai.
Well, how do they? Like anything you want to throw on him, he's still got Lotus Orb available. Then you can trigger the Pipe and the Vanguard. That's so much life to survive with, and they're going to take next Roshan. LGD, Chalice, this is your moment, this is your day, and he's going to jump in, goes for the Avalanche. Nietzsche's already got the Aegis, the Cheats on the ground, but they turn around the fight. Here comes the Supernova, right in front of the pit. Zai's trying to get rid of it, but Nisha, he's just doing all the work from inside of his own home. Yes, ES will die. Puppy's the next chase down, but they haven't got any of the cores, and Puppy hides in the trees where HY said it was safe. Mid one's already with the double kill. FY draining out Sublime, but they know all they gotta do is just wait it out. FY gonna get beaten to a pulp. They just rack and stack the damage while Nisha is hunting the bigger kill. It's maybe Yulceptor, send him up towards the air, but when he drops, it's a long way down. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. LGD. In a world of hurt, X-Nova as Icarus died, so Zai shouldn't be able to control him, not unless Yapsor can hit the kick, but he will not be able to. But X-Nova, he doesn't have a way out, he doesn't have a TP scroll, so Zai's going to find him over in the side, and now X-Nova, yeah, you can Fire Spirit out all you want, Yapsor will roll in, and the kills start rolling all the way of Team Secret, who are coming down the mid lane.
And you can see the BKB timing. That was a decent egg from X-Nova, but Arc Warden has 2 heroes with a BKB along with mid one. That egg died in 2 seconds, and all of a sudden the teamfight of LGD goes out the window. Chalice has already blown his combo, and maybe just doesn't do enough damage. They saved him for last.
It really had to kick it off in the laning phase for LGD, but Team Secret, they've played it wonderfully. Arme trying to force back mid one. At least he's burned the mana off him. Bazai standing his ground. FY at least gets Nether Ward back down again once more, but time lapse out any damage. Got Chalice, Avalanche toss, looking for the kill on Yapsor, but Yapsor protected by the Glimmer Cape. He's got the distance, but then again, Arme's got the speed. Rolling boulder over the hill, the kick from Yapsor, and Zai tries to hold him in. Shapeshift, he'll finally get the kill at the very end of the shapeshift, but Arme has to BKB. Looking for the regeneration of the shrine, but Puppy, he's just so fat, blocks him, getting to the shrine. And Team Secret, they turn around. They want more kills just to go down the mid. Charles is nearby. This is the real Nisha. He hits the illusions out. But there are so many Spark Rays. It's a danger field. This is the real techies.
Oh, it might be even worse than techies.
There's
Not really.
nothing worse than techies. No, nothing better than techies.
Yeah, Ame, he has no buyback either. He bought a Hyperstone before that last engagement, and look at the damage output.
They just sustain. Walk inside the bubble. Zai doesn't really care. They throw down more of the Rays. They're going to take the top lane of Rax. 46 seconds without the like, and LGD can mount no defense that will repel Team Secret. Secret will leave of their own accord.
It just, this Arc Warden hero gives you so many tools as a drafter captain to win lineup. Like, the synergy between Ogre, Bubbles, Nuts, here's the Roshan initiation. You can see the LGD just get there late. That's a triple combo, that's great. But here comes
half a
Ame.
second.
He has 10 more seconds of real damage output. You can see the BKBs immediately, you identify the egg, that goes down. The Lotus to remove the Fire Spirit on Zai as well. He pops the cheese. Everyone's full health. And look at the BKBs, all of a sudden, maybe an Ame, you have nothing to do in a fight anymore and the rest of your team has gone down. You're forced to flee to the north side, but inevitably, you're gonna get caught. Maybe goes down.
It's the ultimate scramble, right? Like LGD, you run to the south, you run to the north, but really there's no way to escape the Secret Walkers. They're all over you. And this is not the way LGD's lineup was meant to work. It was meant to be the initiate, blow up, and then push.
Bear in mind that this was the lineup they spent the last 4 days game planning to beat an Arc Warden with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even feel like they got close.
It really didn't. And you know, in game 2, the draft is going to drastically change.
I hope we don't see this hero given up anymore in this bracket stage. It just seems to give way too much. Risk-free lane shoving, like anti-gank landmines you can place on any choke point.
We are creating a mountain. There's all that advantage that LGD was working with that's just slipped away. A lane and a half of racks fully down. A 6% chance for LGD, but it's more the swing from the 33-minute mark to the 39. But this is what's happened in just 6-7 minutes. You go from 61% chance to winning to 94%. Like, right now, you're hoping that the river card's going to hold something for LGD to get him back in. That's what maybe he's going to try and do. You'll step the up, but Yapsol's got one of his own. Cancels the combination, but the BKB from maybe. He did get it off in the Nova. It's further down the hill. Nisha trying to get rid of it, but he can't actually get it through. But now, mid-one can. In through the side. LGD, they put everything into this. Can they bring down Nisha? They can. But remember, Aegis of the bloody mortal. He's going to live through it. LGD are dropping like flies. This is really the game. LGD have no way out. Well played, good game. That is it for game 1, Team Secret. They waited out the LGD window and then they slammed it shut in their faces. 40 minutes, 43 to take game 1.
It just, very impressive, Toby. They understood their game plan. They played around the map so well, and they took their losses where they had to, giving up towers. Like, it felt like they were just slowly giving away a bit of ground. And LGD, you take what you can get, but at a certain point, you've got to do Roche. You've got to convert, get tier 2s. As soon as Secret gets that first Roche, it's tough.
Yeah. The timing, the initiation, but they started off really well from LGD. The vision game was good. The plan was good. But Team Secret, they were better. They were able to hold through. Nisha got so much space. Ended up doing almost 33,000 hero damage. They did 5k in the building damage as well. Like, it's just a great push lineup. Mid one worked out really nicely. A lineup with very little stuns to go up against a Weaver who got 3 kills in the first, 5 minutes rotation.
Secret just does so many things right. The way they move, the way they play the map, and I again point to the way they itemize. It's better than any other team in Dota right now. Yeah. And I feel like someone else had to have watched TI like I did, because Seb showed the way that these offlaners can always make sure they're relevant. Doesn't matter what you're playing. If you can get a Crimson, Pipe, Lotus, keep your team alive,
yep,
you're going to do work wonders.
Hey, they did it wonders in game 1. Game 2, what will it be? How will it play out? I'm hoping for a game 3, just so we can see more high-quality Dota.
Yeah, plenty to talk about after that one. Well done. Thank you very much, Toby and Kyle. Of course, we'll come back to our commentary team for game number 2, which is just around the corner. Plans off taking a break. We're not taking a break yet, though. We're going to get some thoughts from our panel members on a very impressive game number 1. Gents, we've all discussed over the last couple of days, how do you beat the Arc Warden? We've all theorized it. We've talked about how you might play the Lycan, how you might dominate in lane, how you might get on top of it. They did everything right in the first 20 minutes. Still didn't work.
I don't know. I just can't bet against that hero anymore, and it feels like Secret, I mean, as a team coming in, we're the favorite, and then you get this Arc Warden pick, and I think Kyle said it best, like, you give away a couple towers, but they were never really, losing the game. They were just losing a couple towers, and it just adds up. Like, Arc Warden, if he's not just completely shut out, he will catch back up, and he will pass you.
Did it feel like they weren't, LGD, they weren't far enough ahead in that first 20 minutes?
No,
and if they could have got further ahead, maybe they could have won the game?
Yeah, no, for me it felt like this. Like the first, I would say 8 minutes, like it was looking really good. And then, like all of a sudden, the Lycan couldn't farm in his lane anymore, and he went to jungle. And like everything kind of started collapsing. Like they tried to rotate on this Arc Warden, like they went a few heroes down there, but like you can't, like even when he's kind of under level, you can't go into that guy.
Yeah.
Like he has puts down some Spark Wraiths, he has 2 supports with 1k HP behind him. And like they're like, we can't do this, we can't go in there. And then like slowly, like Secret just start farming up. They have this Bristleback who's fed like 3 kills in lane, but it doesn't matter. Like he's just farming. They're not putting any pressure on him, and you just see the drafts that like LGD's lineup is it's complicated to play. Like Secret just have to sit, and LGD what they have to do is like they go bottom right. They force heroes down there. Then they have to be really quick, go top, and, like dive that tower, kill the Bristleback, make them TP, and they have to keep switching like that. They didn't do it. And like slowly they just start losing.
I like what you said about complicated. 'Cause, I mean, Leshrac and Lycan, we don't see those heroes like ever, and
Yeah.
you have both of them, and all of a sudden you see why it doesn't happen. Like Leshrac, if you die once or twice, you just fall off the game,
Yeah,
like a monkey can kind of.
I also don't think it really fits LGD too much because they like to usually play a static game, play for the mid-late game.
Yeah.
And in this game, after the early game, which they played almost perfectly, they made it into a static game, which you don't want to do against a Radiant lineup with the lineup that you have. They had like 4 towers pushed, whereas Secret had like 6 towers pushed, and that Pagna, Leshrac, and Lycan, like, how do you lose more towers than the enemy, actually?
No,
Yeah.
but you could see that how like their smokes were, right? Like they would smoke up as 4 or 5 people,
Yeah.
and then they would like they kind of want to go to the arc and then they see the spark grids, and then they just run across the map to some Weaver split pushing, and it takes them 5 heroes in 1 minute to kill him, and it's like it doesn't do anything for the game.
I mean, this game is just hard for them because Arc Ward is obviously hard to game because of Spark Rays. They don't have much control for the Weaver, and this Bristle is just way too tanky for them. They have no one that can really build a Silver Edge early, and like they just have 3 almost unkillable cores, and it's just way too hard to play Dota that way right now.
Yeah, that last fight we talked about, like the Phoenix Egg, like Phoenix is terrible versus Arc Warden. Like
Yeah.
you just killed him in like
Oh,
1
this,
second.
this is it right now.
Yeah, this is the last one. And
Like I was so surprised when I picked the Phoenix. I mean, I understand why. They lack team fight, they need a
Yeah.
team fight, but against an Arc Warden, it seems really counterintuitive. It's like, yeah, we have team fight, but not really because I'm gonna die in 1 second.
you have to place it like perfectly, and sometimes you just it's in the pressure of the moment. You can't.
I mean, he has like more than 600 attack range too. I think he starts with 625.
Yeah.
They should probably pick Undying actually. That would have made more sense. It helps with the Bristle too. I
Yeah.
mean, if they pick Bristle eventually.
I mean, you just need to pick. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was a draft that LGD lost the game. I think it was just their playstyle. Like they went back to their habits, which is usually just play for mid late game. They have this Lycan farming, they have Leshrac farming. They were ahead of the Arc Warden for the longest time, but it doesn't matter. You don't scale as well. And it just,
No, they probably had to go more crazy. They actually just had to run up the ramp, place a ward, and hope for the best.
I mean, that's their lineup though, right?
Yeah.
You have this Lash Lycan partner, you need to go crazy.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Rough.
Yeah, I mean, you
ban
exactly.
the Arc Warden, I guess, now.
Please,
Are we back to that again? It feels like 2 days ago we had the same discussion about if you come in and you theorize it over a couple of days and you've got plenty of time to think about it and it doesn't work, then you just have to ban it the next game, right? I mean,
realistically,
and bear
though-
in mind, they GG'd at 40 minutes in this game because they were literally at that point where they were like,
They have no chance.
Yeah, that hasn't worked.
Yeah, but realistically, they had first pick. They had the chance to first pick that Arc Warden if they wanted to.
Yeah, or,
So-
or the TB if they wanted to
yeah,
as well.
I mean,
But either
obviously
way.
they don't consider Arc Warden too highly. But maybe they changed after this game. But as I said, LGD, I haven't seen him play Arc Warden too much. I don't think they have like a super specialist on him. Like they can probably play it, but not like to that extent.
No, I think you just ban it because, like you said, 5 days, nothing worked out. You lost versus it. It's time to just go back.
Yeah, go back to
Just get rid of
basics.
it. Yeah, just get rid of it.
Yeah, puts them in a tough place though.
Yeah, it
doesn't
really
For-
does. Yeah.
for 1 game down in the semi-final of the upper bracket, lots to do between them. Thank you very much, gents. We'll take a break here inside the arena. When we come back, game 2 draft will be upon us. Big game ahead for PSG.LGD. It's all in control though, as far as your Team Secret fans are concerned. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to the Axiata Arena here in Malaysia for the Kuala Lumpur Major. It is day number 1 of the main event. 6 teams remaining, although we're going to trim the field to just 4 by the end of the day, or rather 5 actually, because we've got only one of the lower bracket matches to come up a little later on. Right now we're focused on the upper bracket semi-finals. Team Secret are 1-0 ahead of PSG.LGD. We're going to get the thoughts of our panel members right now. Pilei, Dai, Grant and Black are all back with us. As we turn our attention towards Game 2, plenty for LGD to think about, but what are Secret talking about backstage?
I mean, apparently they're first pick now.
Yep.
So they're probably discussing if Arc 1 is not banned, whether they're going to first pick it. And I mean, we just had this discussion. We spoke to a lot of people, and personally, we also think Arc 1 should not be that strong. It just doesn't feel that strong in the game, you know?
Okay. But that's part of the confusion, though, gents, isn't it? It's part of why we keep going, well, surely this can beat it, and that can beat it. And we've seen the Alchemist tried now, we've seen the Lycan tried, we've seen, I'm trying to think, Medusa was tried. Nothing has seemingly worked. I mean, why not just ban it?
I mean, admittedly, I played like over 200 heroes, over 200 games on that hero, and, you know,
When was the last time?
like a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. It just doesn't seems unbeatable
He
now.
just wins. He just wins. That's exactly. He just wins games.
He's like 80% win rate, I think.
I think Pi said
Yes.
it. I mean, you said it best. You just when you try to push into that hero, you lose so much. You just lose a lot because the bubble's ridiculous. The spark rate is ridiculous.
Yeah, and even if you're like, he's not defending, like, he's farming so fast. It's like an alchemist. Like, you're killing some tier 2 tower together, and you know there's an Arc Warden on the map farming.
He's farming his jungle
He's-
and a lane.
He's farming and he's defending the tower at the same time. Like, he'll mite us, and then he'll defend the tower for 20 seconds. Yeah.
I mean, the real problem is that like the way he scales, right? Like an alchemist farms, yeah, okay. Late game, you know, he won't win.
Yeah.
But Aqua is like the opposite. Okay, late game, we won't beat him.
What I think LGD need to do, though, is this. Like, if they're letting the Arc Warden through, they need to get a lineup where they feel comfortable farming with. So,
Yeah.
like, when they see this Arc Warden, they need to pick up a Spectre, or they need to pick up...
Go toe-to-toe with him.
Even a Terrorblade. Just something so they feel okay. Because, like, those games can end up going weirdly.
I mean,
Like,
they
you
had
go
the
in.
chance to, right? But they didn't want to pick the Spectre first
Yeah,
phase. They could have.
You're right.
Yeah.
What did they pick? Sorry. Second.
Pugna.
It was Pugna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tiny Pugna was the
Turn
opener.
to bat.
I think just Spectre would have been good there.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to address it with the Lycan, but I really feel like the new
Okay.
LGD is not really
Wow.
too much of a Lycan
The
team.
Bane, Wisp, Necro from Secret,
As-
Morphling,
Oh, they
Enigma,
banned Wisp
same from
themselves.
As we
LGD.
see the trophy.
Alright, let's see. Centaur is still in the pool. So,
Centaur and Arc.
Secret are probably going to get the Centaur Axe.
Yeah,
I think is what they want.
You don't pick Arc Warden over Centaur, I think.
I don't think so.
I
I think
don't think so,
Centaur
yeah.
is the top pick.
Yeah. Because Centaur deals really well with Arc Warden, too.
I mean, they put themselves in a really good position here, haven't they? Because one of those two is getting through.
yeah.
And Axe. Like, there's 3 real top tier heroes left.
But the thing is, Centaur with Arc Warden is really good, and Centaur against Arc Warden is really good, too. So no matter what happens now, they already have like a little edge in the draft.
The puppy seems super happy down there as well in the
Hey.
player pit.
He seems pumped.
Mind equals blown, the Absol.
Yeah. Yeah, like if we first pick the Arc Warden, they cannot pick it.
Oh, and we win. That's good.
Yeah, LGD, they're like, they did not expect that Wisp ban.
You see?
I think Bane and Wisp, yeah, because they're first pick and just
Their coach is not with them.
yeah, he's not
This
here.
event
He's still on
actually.
vacation.
Really?
That's what I read. Yeah.
Oh.
Coach.
Because actually, I feel he was always a very big contribution to the team.
Yeah. I think like their team and like Maneski at TI, I think they had the big coach who would do all their drafting and stuff. I think
Yeah.
they're using a lot of their reserve time for this last ban.
The thing is, they're kind of screwed now.
Yeah,
if they
this
ban
is a-
Centaur, not good. If they ban Arc Warden,
Wow.
not good. They ban Tiny.
A tiny band.
The thing is, even if they get Centaur, they're going to get Axe plus something.
yeah,
But we should just
So-
see the Centaur.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay. They're baiting them to pick the Arc Warden. though.
Picking
A
Arc Warden,
dangerous bait.
You still like have to, or else you
Yeah.
give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
but then you have the potential for Centaur or Spectre, for example. Arc Warden is
True.
gonna be so sad against that.
That's why I said it's such a smart set of bans by Puppy,
really-
because
you're right.
they can actually end up with whatever they want now.
10 seconds.
And that's when a player like Nisha comes into play, actually. Just by being there, you have to ban this Morphling, and you kind of have to put yourself in a bad spot.
What about the tiny ban, though?
I mean, it's just they didn't want to ban Arc Warden or Centaur because either way it would have been a bad, like, kind of draft for them. And then, like, if Secret gets the Tiny in like the first phase, maybe second pick, it would be A
I
bit
don't know,
rough for
they're
him.
losing a lot of time here. I don't know if they didn't expect them to pick center.
I mean, this
They
goes
had
back
to.
again. Like, I don't know how comfortable they actually are drafting themselves.
Yeah, no, because this should be kind of a classic thing to do. You pick a stun and then you pick one of the like strong carry bros.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
just acts +1 carry.
What I would expect.
What carry do you think they should use? Like, just
Maybe
Terrorblade?
Earthshake. Oh, Rust. Oh, that's,
Shadow Shaman?
that's a stun right there.
Are they going back to the TV stuff? They should.
Some smiles from Nisha on stage now. I think he kind of hopes he'll get one of the heroes he wants to play next.
I mean, he's gonna get
Arc Warden, TB.
or Spectre. Even PL
He's
is not
getting one.
banned.
You don't really want to pick Spectre into center either. It's one of those runaway.
They just go for the X.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there is
don't
a way
carry
to
it.
get
Much more
carry.
LGD.
So we're just
lineup,
gonna
isn't
see an Arc Warden then probably, right?
I think so.
Because Arc Warden is pretty good against Shadow Shaman too.
Yeah, coming right up.
Team Secret's
There he is.
it? I mean, why not,
Centaur
right?
Arc Warden, man, that is such a that
I mean, if
opening
the,
is disgusting.
if the first draft was tough,
Ah,
this second one is disgusting.
it is.
I love that sound when Arc Warden gets picked.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
They still have heroes. I guess they.
2-0 secret. Let's go home.
Oh, okay, come on, man.
10
What
seconds.
they're comfortable with.
I mean, yeah, Terrorblade is still in the pool.
They're gonna ban PL Spectre now, most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, PL is already banned. Can expect the Spectre last. I mean, they don't care about the Lycan anymore after what happened last game, probably. So.
Probably not.
But they get the TB though.
Yeah, but like like we talked about it before, right? Like originally.
I know they can't cancel each other.
Yeah,
out.
Arc Warden was supposed to be a counter to Terrorblade. I don't. But now, right now, it feels like he's like the best hero you can pick versus Arc Warden.
Yeah.
So it's all a little strange.
Storm is actually banned. Spectre still in the pool.
Ooh.
But Spectre against Centaur is also like, yeah.
Yep.
Like he haunts and you Centaur ult and you're out.
But Spectre's like one of those heroes LGD should like it would fit them way better.
I mean, LGD loves Spectre.
Yeah. And they do have some lockdown now, so.
Bloodseeker.
Oh, is that another Lycan then?
I hope not. I just want them to go back to the like comfort. Just go Spectre. They don't have to pick Spectre now though. They can pick something else first.
What do you pick?
Yeah.
You see
You have an Axe roster versus Arc Warden Centaur. You're like,
I mean, just the
What do you
Centaur,
wanna
like
do?
you want some kind of
10 seconds remaining.
hero that's good in this situation.
5 seconds remaining.
oh, that's good.
I like where you're
indeed.
going with this. That
Indeed.
makes a lot of sense to us. Oh.
Undying. That makes sense. Lanes well against
Yep.
both these heroes.
Pi, you were talking about that just
Yeah,
before the break.
yeah,
Yep.
it's a better
Way
team
better than
fight
Phoenix
better than Phoenix versus
against
Arc
Arc Warden.
Yeah.
Although the Tombstone also is gonna melt.
It is, but at the same time, like now they can kind of if they want to go for the Lycan again, which I kind of feel they set up for, then he's better versus these tanky like underlords and stuff.
I mean, Undying could also be Spectre setup. Could be either.
Yep.
So Shadow
Oh.
Demon.
Whoa.
Team Secret's turn to pick.
Slar.
no way, they went for it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, this is another one that we've been theorizing
Whoa.
over
Yeah.
the last few days.
I mean, I mentioned a couple of days ago, Slark is one of the hardest counters to Arc Warden, but he's so bad against Shadow Demon.
And isn't he? He's bad versus Arc Warden late.
Yeah, when you
because
get Hex.
can't- Yeah,
Yeah.
Hex. You double Hex and you can't purge it
But
off
did
anymore.
you see the pick?
Puppy's seen this coming from a mile away.
I don't know.
And LGD just ignored the Shadow Demon. It was insta lock in.
The instant
That
block,
was.
I actually think it's like that it wasn't intentional. Maybe I have no idea.
No, it's definitely intentional.
But
They do.
It
They,
wasn't.
I mean, it was intentional, but was it like reckless? Because they instantly picked it. They didn't even look.
I
Probably
mean, no, they didn't really care about the support there. They just knew that
Shadow Demon is
they
scary.
want to lane this Slark versus Centaur. They're like, yeah, we're gonna back him up. We're gonna stomp that lane, and then he's gonna chase this Arc Warden
But
around.
Position
that's why
4
I think
Centaur
that-
doesn't care much though.
That's why I think Puppy read this. He already saw this coming.
I mean, if they see Slark coming after 0 tournament picks, then they're pretty good. All right, time for support Arc Warden and Anti-Mage.
But that's the thing, isn't it? We're running out of what deals with the Arc Warden. We've been through all of these heroes. We
We
even
have.
talked about Slark a few days ago. We all sat around a table talking about it.
Yeah.
And we all agreed in the end it was a bad hero right now.
I'm a big Slark fan, but playing against Shadow Demon is just so miserable. You can't really kill anyone. You just get disrupted, you get purged.
I don't know. I've been on the other side of that coin. I played Shadow Demon versus Slark, and when the Slark goes on you and you're a Shadow Demon, I don't really know what to do.
You feel better as Dido than if you're like some bounty hunter or something like that. Because you can't actually defend yourself.
I don't know, man. You have to buy so many sentries. But, yeah.
This is
But that's just
core-
Slark in general.
Core versus support argument right here.
Yeah.
The other one always has it harder.
I mean, what can I say? Always rich.
PSG.LGD.
Ah, okay.
Dude, this Slark is gonna have the worst game
Nice.
of his life. He is gonna have a bad
Be
one.
miserable.
There is a chance that he snowballs with like a fast Shadowblade BKB though.
Yeah.
Possible.
I think that's. I mean, if you just win your lanes, there's always a chance you win a game. But the problem
Yeah.
is winning a lane with a Slark.
I was thinking like this, there's no way Slark can solo kill an Arc. Like, Archon is just going to sit in a sentry in his neutrals. And even if the Slark goes on him, he's just going to TP out, right?
Yeah.
What do you even do?
I mean, you need Shadowblade.
Dashing?
Like, if you're forced into a BKB after Shadowblade, you're not a threat. Generally. But that's what I'm saying. Like, picking this Slark just seems so random here.
Because I think this is one of those games the Slark might actually have a good laning stage. I think
Okay.
so.
Why do you think they would pick it here though, and not last pick? If they really wanted a Slark game.
And they want the mid matchup. They want to see.
Yep, yeah, sure, but the Slark is completely countered already.
Sure.
It's super hard for him now. Just by 2 supports.
For me, there's no way Shadow Demon counter Slark. Like
You will see, you will see.
It's good versus him, but it's not like a direct.
I mean, it's not a
straight up
counter.
counter.
the Hex though is yeah.
That's a
Hex-
problem.
That's something they
That's
added.
a problem.
That's a problem.
Also Soul Catcher plus Finger. He can just die from a full health almost. And Centaur is not bad against Slark. He has a lot of burst. Well, I mean, Secret is just like, all right, what are we getting for dinner later? You ban the Ember. What about Quap? I know you guys hate Quap,
What about it?
What
But-
I
about
don't think you
him?
picked that hero.
Yeah.
but Quap is good against Slark.
Oh, like that? I think
Yeah.
they more want. Like we talked about the Conka before, right? Something like that.
Kanka is good. The banned Invoker, maybe the Quap is coming out. Invoker counters Quap. Why else would you ban Invoker? Like,
Maybe Lena or something.
Lina is possible, yeah.
Not that good.
I still believe in Quap. It's a strong hero, but people hate her. I just wanted to come back.
Cool, like her level 1 ulti, she's just useless after you use it. Like that. I don't know. You're just
Yeah.
right. It's so quick pace now. You have like Undying Axe and Rosses. They have no cooldowns. Then what are you? You're just a Quap who used a 300 damage nuke and it's gone for 3 minutes.
PSG.LGD.
Yeah, that's a good
All right. I'll
So
for
standard.
like a mid. Yeah, it's good though. I mean,
mid
It's
one
very
Conka.
good.
Secret playing standard. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys don't lose games. They actually just don't lose games anymore.
This is quick. Ooh.
Tinker.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of like that. I think.
Is it? I like the pick, but is it enough?
Is it enough?
I like the pick.
Centaur is
It's like
really
the best pick, right? But it's, I don't
Centaur
think
is
it's
really good
enough.
against Tinker, though, right?
I just wanna, I wanna go for LGD, but
I really.
after last game, like.
I'm not going against Centaur or first pick. I'm actually just not.
But a core Centaur is really good against Tinker. You get this axe to just run at him
No.
through trees and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a pretty good upgrade.
They kind of did switch around on like they're gonna be way more comfortable just like splitting the map, farming versus farming.
Yeah, but you're still going for secret, so.
Isn't? I mean, LGD's draft seems really greedy too. Like Shadow Shaman and Axe both need farm in this game, and then you have Tinker who takes up the most farm of like anyone in the game.
Yeah.
I think.
I think if they get late game, they have a good shot. But getting late game is
I think it's too hard.
rough.
I'm definitely going for Secret here. They just have better heroes, and I think it's easier to execute. Right? We always talk about that. Like executing a Slark Tinker draft does not seem very easy.
They've gone with the puppy Shadow Demon and Yapzor on the Lion.
All right, Johan, what do you think?
Nah, I know what you guys are gonna go for, so I'm gonna look like a genius and go for LGD. I just think they're gonna farm it up, and then it's gonna be 55 minutes.
But what if I go
They're
LGD
gonna
2
win.
then? Then you look like.
Then I'm the genius.
Yeah, then he's a
Alright.
genius. Nah, no, but I'm going secret.
Especially like Yapzor. Sorry, I like Yapzor on the line because you get that quick blink versus Slark. Like a position 4 line versus Slark is going to destroy him.
All right, 2 for Secret and 1 for LGD. As we head into game number 2, let's bring in our commentary team. It is, of course, Toby 1 and Kyle. Gents, Kyle in particular, that looked like a strong start to the draft from Secret.
It did. I strongly favor PSG.LGD, though. I don't think that they are going to be able to lane. What?
So, no, I saw that, Pi. We could see your face and what you say
Yeah.
from down there when Kyle agrees with you.
Pi's just doing the typical panel.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
Pi's
gonna
already
disagree.
worried now because
Yeah.
he knows that Kyle's record has not been the most stellar at this particular tournament for predictions. But nevertheless, it's all yours, gents. Take it away.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Red Eye doesn't know that this is the main event, okay? No more superstition, all right? Now we're actually trying to get things correct. And I love what LGD did in this game.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't really address the main concern of Arc Warden, which is the ability to shove out lanes constantly.
Yep.
Now you have that global pressure that you can output, and all of a sudden that clone isn't just like a... You saw how many times you see it mop up what could have been an LGD split push?
Yeah, and LGD had to keep coming back to defend it with a large amount of force. But this time around, like, yeah, you're right. Like, the Tinker could just like throw down massive waves of barge. He can actually do this global kind of push. But I still wonder if they can contest Nisha. This was the thing that happened, like in game 1, where Team Secret were all across the map. They were always hunting, and this just created space for their Arc Warden. But now, LGD are armed with Axe, who's very good at just getting in the way and creep skipping out. But the Slark pickup. The panel were iffy about it. We've been iffy about it.
Once again,
Can he hit that right timing?
Well, once again, they have this team fight winner in the sense that, like Phoenix drops an egg, Undying lays a tomb. It also secures the lane for Slark, and you love playing with global heroes when you're this assassin, Shadowblade rushing hero. And you actually have stuns as well on LGD. No longer are you completely reliant on a Tiny, who's really not an initiator, more of just burst damage output. Now you've got arguably the best hero on this patch, Axe, along with the Rasta. I like their lineup a lot more. It's just all on Ame, Slark, and maybe Tinker. They've got to have good games, and that will actually shut down the entire Secret lineup.
Zai gets the double hoof stomp into the double impale. And, well, you can tip him out. That is going to actually be... Well, actually, it's 3 bounty runes to the 1. It was only the bottom one where Team Secret were able to really try and contest it because it was still Chalice, X Nova, and FY that picked up the 3 bounty runes.
Yep.
For LGD.
It'll be interesting to see this mid matchup. I have not seen Tinker versus Arc Warden, but it's important. You can see they actually dodged the Kunkka to top because you cannot play Kunkka against Tinker. It is a miserable matchup, and maybe would have crushed it.
Yeah, he did crush the start of game 1 too, so makes sense. Give him the respect he deserves. FY on the Shaman, because this is kind of where you ask the question, like, do you have enough push power? Slark, Axe, they're all great gankers. The Tinker's great for split push, but does that actually get you up the hill? Does that help you win the game, or is that where the wards come into play?
It's nice. It's more that LGD's not on a clock like they were in the previous game. And yes, Slark's gonna have a lot of trouble against a 4-position Lion, but he doesn't fear any of Secret's heroes. There's no pure Slark counter here, especially if he gets up to like a Scotty BKB time.
Man, Zai, X Nova's just hitting him so hard. He had so much stolen strength, combining with the essence shift that Slark gets. You actually start to wonder if Centaur is as strong as he really looks.
Yeah. My concern with Secret, there's no way to deal with Slark BKB and Tombstone down, and there's nothing they can do to itemize or scale until Arc Warden's just 6-slotted for you to be able to apply enough threat that LGD can't then commit fully to a team fight. Not to mention, you have Axe, BKB, piercing, disable, 3.2 seconds. This is...
Ooh, bottom lane, hell of a lot of damage when you're able to get the Hoof Stomp out. Zai gets a little bit more space. X Nova, a lot of life on him, had the 12 stolen strength. It's all starting to slip away. That's why Yapso's keeping up the pressure, looking for the first blood, connects on the stun. Ame needs one more hit, and he gets the first blood. As Yapso's attack was still in flight, he'll get the rebuttal, but pounds forward. Ame wants to keep this on his stolen 24 agility.
That's a great trade for the side of PSG.LGD, because now Undying just TP's back in. He's got full health, about to hit level 2. You just continue spamming decays, and Ame got the first blood. He was brought his items as well. You don't need to use Courier. Your Undying, actually, that death is worth, because you give your Slark a Wand recipe and a Wraith Band, this lane is going to be dominated by LGD.
Yapso's looking for an opportunity to try and fight in mid. Now, Nisha is pretty low. I don't know if he really wants to get too close on this. The rocket and the missiles are both coming off cooldown. There's mana for only, well, actually after a bottle charge, you'll have mana for 2, but Yapso's waiting. He's got Hex and Impale available, but as X Nova rotates around, one Decay with a little bit of vision would have given them everything they want. Yapso doesn't really see his opening. Nisha is now finally salved up, but he ends up having it cancelled, walked in range. and has the laser cancel, so they move up to try and deal with Chalice. He has been creep skipping the crap out of this, got 10 stick charges available, and now we'll see how much they got. FY's rotated over, the Shackles onto SD, but Yapsor's there with the Hex. Puppey stacking up the Shadow Poison. There's 6 stacks on top of Chalice, but Puppey, the damage is so high, the pop wasn't enough, but the stun from Yapsor, and the damage will be FY versus Yapsor. Shackles available, then he can't get the vision around the other side of the tree line.
But you're totally fine with this. In the meantime, PSG.LGD, Slark is farming a hard camp in addition to that creep wave. You're dominating the bottom lane. You're crushing mid. Nisha hasn't got a CS in a minute and a half. This is the dream start if you're PSG.LGD. You are winning all 3 lanes. And Kunkka is not a hero that really can just take over the map. It's a slow progression for the mid 1 Kunkka. Like, this is not a hero that can just take over. And Slark doesn't fear Kunkka really ever throughout the game.
Zaya's gonna be so careful. Xnova still hits pretty hard with all that stolen strength, and if he does get pounced, Zaya will be in more trouble. Yapsor's gonna come back down to the bottom lane to try and help out. Not a lot of items to work with, just boots in the wind lanes, but that's enough movement speed to get down to help. Zaya gets the double hook stomp, but then there is your, okay, not a leash. Zaya just breaks free so quick.
You're all good though. It's all about controlling the lane, ensuring Ame keeps free farming. Once he's level 6, then your Undying can shift, maybe look to pressure Kunkka, play with your axe. But for now, you're satisfied with this. Whenever your safe laner has more denies than the enemy off laner, you are golden. And this is part of the reason I feel like Centaur as a 4 makes a lot more sense. It's just not the strongest laner, but when you're able to rotate, I figured we'd see Shadow Demon Centaur just kind of taking over the map, but
Yep.
Secret wants this Lion to counter Slark. It's just that that relationship goes both ways, because the Shadow Blade Slark opens, pops ult, Yapsor's just gonna die in a leash.
Battle for 5-minute runes. LGD are posturing it already. Yapsor will get the stun off so he can take the bottom rune, but it's the top lane where the bigger battle is coming on. Charles able to get the call off. FY, he's already got the bounty rune, and they'll take mid 1's life as well, or will they? Puppey, mid 1 gets some space. Shackles, FY, well, he's gonna let it go on the SD. Mid 1 wants to help out. Torrent will fly forward. It goes towards Chalice, not towards FY. Then he doesn't have enough mana for the shock, but with a battle hunger, Puppey will fall. It has been a hard game. He's level 2, 5 minutes into this matchup.
Yeah, but the lanes of LGD. Rasta's underrated. He's got boots in level 3, 82 damage. Not to mention, this is FY, arguably the best player out of China. And I love seeing him on heroes that can have an impact like Rasta. I feel like he's going to be able to not only rotate, but also scale as the game progresses.
Ame, he doesn't want to go on Zai. That's the one that's going to be
Look
posturing
mid.
over on
Look
Undying.
mid, here comes FY.
Yep, they're looking for it. In through the rear, FY. He's going to try and battle against Nisha with these clones. Have they got the damage right underneath the spirits? Already maybe get some distance. So Nisha and Xnova will both fall. The clone gets mopped up as well.
It's a lot of gold. Really well done by FY. That's the power of Rasta. Not only are you strong in lane, you can find kills so easily with that 2-point shackle.
Oh, X-Mark. They're going to try and combo with this TPing in Lion. Able to land the stun. They didn't really have enough damage for this. They didn't commit the ghost shift of mid 1. So it doesn't really look like it. Mid 1 able to get the cleave damage into Charles. He'll hide in the tree lines for the moment. Calls a bubble. He's managed to get the creep wave plus Yapsor, but here comes the shift. Here comes the commitment. Ame, however, has done the rotation, but Puppey is here. Gets the disruption off. There's a little bit of mistiming. They don't get the torrent right.
I'm not sure I like this rotation from Ame. I would have much preferred him just continuing to bully this Centaur out of lane. He has 3 levels on him.
I suppose Undying can just do it himself, right? If he keeps the decay going against Zai, he'll be fine.
And they're just lane swapping. This is very interesting. I'm not sure if you can get away with this, but it looks like Secret's gonna look to possibly seed the lane. Kunkka does have a hard time against the Slark, but
This does also make sense, though, if Slark wants to start invading into the Dire Jungle. That high movement speed that he gets from the Shadow Dance just allows him to close the distance, potentially find Arc Warden if he wants to bail off the lane. Meanwhile, Charles just misses the call onto Zai. Next Nova's, like, it's 16 decay. He's down to 700, I'd say he's down to 717 HP. There's still a Centaur. The Charles looks for him, uses the Battle Hunger for the movement speed, but Zai will run it off. While up on the top lane, FY gonna get banished up. There is an easy combination here from the rest of Team Secret. FY very much isolated. They drop the tombstone underneath the tier 2 tower. Zai, he's so low the battle hunger is not killing him off. Yapsor's going to arrive. They're still underneath the tombstone. The Team Secret want to fight, and Chalice, it's way too much damage. They're tanking the tower. And with Tombstone or not, it's just not working.
I just don't get this lane swap, Toby. I felt like PSG.LGD, you just preserve the status quo, you're going to be great.
Yeah,
you lost
Xnova's
3
gone
for
too.
none. They will know that there's a ward up top. Ame scouted it out when he was retreating, ditching his dead Rasta, but that's all you earn out of this rotation.
Yeah, it does seem very odd to say the least. Maybe you can understand some of the concept behind it, but Team Secret's movements, as we saw in Game 1, they're almost predictive of where LGD is going to go. And yes, you've just played the same draft, or the same core hero, the Arc Warden, 2 games in a row. You understand its weakness, but they just changed the tempo. Same hero, played a different way. Or played the same way, just in different positions.
You were talking about Slark invading Arc Warden jungle. You don't do that until Shadowblade, and that's how you want to play this hero. Accelerate as fast as possible, have Aquila, Wand, Treads, Shadowblade. It's go time. That's when you start rotating and staying in enemy jungle, playing off map, but you're lowering your timing now to a point where Yapster is going to be level 6 pretty soon, if not off this rotation, but the level 10 tome, minute 10 tome. Then you die once on Slark. There's a big difference between a 13-minute Shadowblade and a 16 or 17-minute Shadowblade.
Calls out, Stampede going to be used. They're looking for the target. The easier one, which will be FY. He's able to get both the Hex and the Shackles up, but his Yaps are a mid one. Both come down. Support must rotate as the Conquer ship. It hits perfectly. Now it's Slark's turn. Looking for a kill. He doesn't have the leash down yet. He's looking for a better target, and it'll be mid one. Hold him in position. Call Steel Belt from Chalice. They got the secondary control back, but here comes Zai. No hook stop, just double-edged damage, but there's still not enough. Ame has stolen so much essence that he'll actually burn through Zai, and X-Nova chasing mid one underneath the tower. The battle hunger will not be enough, however, as Chalice looks towards the other support. He's looking for Yapsor. I say the other 3 position. The Undying minions are chasing him. Chalice has the movement speed, but this is just wasted time. Ame would love to try and find this kill. He needs the money for it, so Yapsor can continue with the disable. But here comes Ame finally with the burn damage, but still Yapsor dodges and evades. Come off it! Just run, run, run! Get away! The stun! There it is!
An
Yapsor
admirable
can't
attempt.
escape death like that.
Yeah. The one thing we haven't really touched on, though, is that mid-match, you're going to have bots finished soon on maybe. He's had a relatively free game. Nisha will be closing in on the Necro book, but certainly favoring the Tinker. A lot of the CS on Nisha is jungle camps.
They're prepping for a gank up on top. Puppey, oh boy, on the receiving end of so much. Marsh Machine's going to try and give some cover, but there goes your disruption. Stampede forward, and they do get the hoof stomp out, but then the Shackles from FY try and create space, but Yapsor, the finger is available, and LGD losing maybe. FY's also on the run. Zai hoof stomp of cooldown just a second, while on bottom lane. Mid one able to get the kill on X-Nova. FY playing the tree quite nicely. Gets the mouse left force down. That's a lot of damage, all being focused into Yapsor, but Yapsor outruns it after they already get the kill.
It's just so strange. LGD playing a bit sloppy. They're not making team movements. They're just sort of playing reactive Dota. You've got Tinker and Slark. Bots, Shadowblade are coming up soon. There's no need to make these just risky plays.
The last 2-3 minutes have just been looking at Ame moving between lanes.
Yeah.
Just looking for some kind of opening before the Shadowblade is completed. Yes, the movement speed lets him move quickly, but you're right, like this shouldn't be happening until he's got Shadowblade, but he TP'd off the bottom lane. Like, where was he going to get the farm
well,
for
not
this?
just that now you have Axe and Slark in the same lane. Like, Chalice was level 6 when he rotated down here. He just hit level 8. It's been 5 minutes.
Yep. Like if you got a Blink Dagger out of it, it'll make more sense.
No one's pressuring the off lane. You've got an Undying walking up there now, but like, you're matching your supports with your supports. It just doesn't make sense. Keep your Axe up top. Protect Ame Slark. Let him accelerate and eventually get up to that critical item.
There will be a change, however. Wow,
He's dead.
There's 2 on top of him! Moving forward, maybe thought he was fine. Nisha under the bubble, won't be safe. Maybe he actually finds the kill with the edge of the March Machines, but Slark's in so deep with no way out. X-Nova will help him out. The Soul Rebuke's aggressively on the Yapsor, disruption there from Puppey, but there's enough life on Slark just to outrun it. He is lucky, Ame, to get away with his life.
I assume maybe he was baiting there, assuming that Ame would like be able to land the kill on Arc Warden. He was right, but he was rearming right on top of that double Spark Wraith.
Yep.
Pops like a pinata.
He just had the BTs delivered as well. Like, it's like, oh, this is your moment to get aggressive, just like we see now. The pounds forward, but it's so far away from Puppey. Nisha will TP in.
Stampede.
Ame's on the run, and yep, with Stampede, Puppey just runs straight through and look for any extra damage. The Decay at least gives something back, but that double stun, Yapsor curving it like wanted. Goes for even more, but the support is arriving from LGD. They TP in the whole enchilada. All 5 heroes from LGD come and Secret walk away. Victory is theirs in this conflict.
So I've watched a lot of games with the coach of Secret, Sunby, and he's pretty chill when he watches, but his commentary for the last 3-4 minutes is probably something along the lines of, well, that's pretty good for us. That's pretty good for us, too. What's going on here? Because why is Slark diving the tower for the second time in 2 minutes? There's an Axe that was free farming the bottom lane. He'll have a blink soon, but like this boggles my mind, Toby. Neither of those heroes has a stun. Puppey looks like a super pro by just walking away. You turn around with the Stampede. Great TP support from the Arc Warden to buy just enough time for that excellent stun from Yapzor. A true Lion player. You gotta click round.
Here you go. Aggression into a leash and chasing Zai underneath the tower. This is what they wanted to do, right? Until mid-1 and Yapzor turn around, get aggressive. Chalice, he wants to dunk on Zai, but Zai is nowhere near the threshold just yet. You X, you torrent, you boat, and everything will almost connect onto Chalice.
In the meantime, FY took bot tower. That's the Tinker bots as well. You actually have this ability to just bring yourself into a fight, but they still don't have that Shadow Blade on Slark, and it is working to an extent. They're slowing down Nisha.
Oh, Sentry. X-Nova's just looking for the D-ward at the moment. He obviously won't be able to keep his own Observe ward up for a little bit longer, but you're right, like this is that pushing power that LGD has. The Shadow Shaman wars to create space. The top 3 net worth still belong to LGD. For all these divings, for all these weird shenanigans, where you're just like, I question this a little bit. LGD still hold the lead, and they have a 73 win probability according to Dota Plus. All right.
It's Tinker Slark. You're not on a clock, so I guess I'll agree with the concept PSG.LGD is executing. I'm just not sure I'm about the execution.
It's sending a message to Team Secret. It's like, we are going to be aggressive. You have to stick together. You have to create space. They go for the battle of the Rouge, the double stun, the finger, the bird! Woo! Crushing! FY dies at the bottom river too.
They had a ward, Toby. They have a ward above and to the right. They had full vision of that.
Four. Charles is locked in the trees. He can call to get a little bit of extra armor, but they will burn through him. This is 4 heroes dying. You know that advantage that we were talking about? It just went to Secret.
And, you know, credit Secret for the way they're playing. This is how you have to utilize their draft. Tons of cheap, low cooldown, low cost abilities that provide stun, lockdown, and if you chain them like they just did at that rune, you're going to be able to find kills no problem. And I was talking about how Slark will beat Lion, Tinker beats Lion, but if Yapzor is able to get a drums aid, like look at his net worth. He's 1,000 behind Chalice, who was backlaning for the first 6 minutes of this game. He had a 5-minute Vanguard, and look, they have a ward. They see Yapzor. Yep. They're just tunnel vision. They get torrented. There's a stun, a hex, the finger burst damage. Puppey even was visible, as they do have that ward as well. Mid-one's like...
Psych. Okay, so they saw it coming, yet they still couldn't react. They're going to attempt something here, LGD, with a 3-man smoke up. The Blink Dagger is on the Axe. He doesn't have Blade Mail yet, but Zai revealing his position next to the Creepway. But look what Team Secret has already. Mid-1 and Puppey hiding behind the tower. Even if you initiate, you won't get what you're looking for. Nisha starting up his bomb. The Hand of Midas is done. 16 minutes in. That's after he got the level 1 Necro book as well. This is problematic. The Shadow Blade hunting from Ame finds absolutely nothing apart from ability to pressure the bottom lane.
And it's 16.5 minutes, Tobes. He could have had this 12-13 if he just sits bottom lane and tries to accelerate, but he was trying to make space, buying creep waves for his Axe, who now has a Blink Dagger, sure, but it's going to be harder to use it because, to your point, like Nisha, he has Midas, he has Necro. Like, this is where you want to be on Arc Warden, and he picked that up before the Slark got the item required to start hunting him.
You also see the change in momentum coming in from the Slark with just his item mindset. He had Echo Saber queued up, he switched to BKB. He's just trying to find now the sustain in the fights. LGD are looking for this kill. They'll get the call over on Nisha. That's the real one with the Tombstone down, but Stampede, he walks away. Zygus double wolf stop. The wards are perfect. Yapzor thought he was going to be good, but he'll just be dead. The Mass Serpent wards will finish the job, and they Culling Blade. Give them the extra movement speed because maybe he's in trouble. Initiated on by mid-1 as well as Puppey. They just isolated him, and now the call. Chalice missed it. He actually didn't connect onto Zai. It looked a good range. The shackles, that's a long range. Mid one, underneath the tower. Arme, he's trying to decide who to go on. It will be mid one finally. Supports here from the Tinker with the laser, with the rocket. Mid one's got so much life with that toggle. Finally not bring him down. Team Secret being heavily pressured between their mid towers.
That was huge for LGD because they get the kill on Ame as well. You said he would go for the BKB instead, and I agreed with that decision, but all of a sudden you've got this influx of 1,500 gold. Maybe you can go for that next build-up item, look to continue scaling. They take out Nisha. That's huge for the side of Secret, or LGD, sorry. They have to buy back on Tinker, but he's not really the win condition, and he secured those kills along with some tower pressure. I think you're fine with that if you're PSG.LGD.
Yep. They just need to keep that momentum rolling through. They can't afford to keep giving these 3 kills over to Team Secret or these lost team fights. They need the Blade Mail on Axe. We'll have a look at this engagement once again. So they start up, popping off Nisha, but then so quickly out.
FY, like, not giving Amsor too much time to react. Fake cast the wards on the high ground, finds the kill. I mean, last game we saw him play a Pugna. What does that do? Shove lanes, eventually feed. They give, when you have a superstar 4 position, you give him a playmaker, you let him work for you, and all of a sudden, you've got a roster that can find solo kills and towers. There's a lot of people that could learn from the way PSG.LGD drafted right now.
Can't believe that call from Challenge actually didn't connect on Zai as well.
No.
But mid one, this toggling, so good, great space created. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough for him.
That's the issue with the Secret draft, right? They need space in fights, and they just need time. Nisha's their real source of damage output, and if there's suddenly a tombstone and the lion's dead, there's no team fight for Secret.
Initiation, bottom lane, Arme's gonna jump forward. Yapzor's nearby, they'll start with a stampede, but X is out from FY. They don't have the shackles though. So Tombstone is dropped and Secret walk away, but there's 5 heroes from Secret on bottom at the moment.
Yep, but you can see how Secret just can't commit through Tomb. They're trying to find skirmishes, quick pickoffs, chasing for more. And I'll be honest, half their kills LGD just straight up handed to them, but they still have a tough task ahead of them if they want to close out this game.
Okay, they have an observer ward looking at Puppey. This is the Bounty Runes once again. Puppey will not take the fight, however. The Bounty Runes will get to split.
And bear in mind, the BKB timing on Slark, that's when it's go time. But you still got to be concerned. You catch a Hex running over a lonely sentry, you might just get 100 to 0, no problem.
FY, Torrent is going to connect from mid one. He's not looking to follow up. FY looked like he was more posturing, trying to just show, oh yeah, I got like 3 heroes in the bottom lane ready to fight you and get some kind of response out of Secret to open up the space like this on top lane. Arme going after Zai. Puppey's in the neighborhood, a quick pounce away. He's got the distance.
We've got Blink up on maybe Tinker as well. He'll finish the Aether Lens in just a few moments, probably his next cycle. There it is.
Well, Arme, you're coming in again. You can pounce down, he'll break free of any abilities, but then double Spark Race in front while in bottom lane it's X-Nova, bottom rune, and Arme is kind of going to be the big one if they can kill him off. Well, they can't do it, they can't lock him down.
No.
Not while you've just got maybe spamming rocket after rocket after rocket.
Yeah, and your only real way of effective lockdown is the Yapzor Hex, and he was preoccupied making sure that the Undying went down on the bottom rune. And if he's not there, there's no real way for a Shadow Demon Centaur Kunkka to ever 100 to 0 a Slark. He'll eventually get the Dark Pact off.
LGD is doing a really good job of making sure they can get rid of any vision the Team Secret have. That's the other big advantage of Slark. Walked right over the top of that Dire Observer Ward, and he knows. And they're going to remove it. Dire Vision is pretty dark for Secret. In fact, non-existent. X marks the spot. Mid one's looking for some space. Slark, well, they're going to go on it. The call is out. The X can't bring him back in time. And now LGD with a tombstone down. They run forward. They just dunk. And with the high movement speed, they go from one to the next to the next.
That's the PSG.LGD I'm talking about. You find that initial kill, drop the tomb, and boom, you can chase for more, no problem. They have the lockdown this time. They have what has to be an answer to Arc Warden if there are any. And now it's the time for them to start starving the map. Look at the wards they place off of that. Great job by X-Nova. Look at the two, all the pressure they now have in the enemy jungle.
Towards mid, Sai able to get the whole stop off. FY just hung around. Chalice looks to go for his own quick jump in. He'll find the Centaur wall runner. X-Nova into the ultimate, but what's he really going to do here? Tinker has arrived once more. The Secret back up behind their tier 2 tower.
Yeah, the cooldowns to watch in this game are the Stentar Stampede and the Undying Tombstone. Those are what give you want LGD. They want to drop Tomb and find a fight around it. Secret, you want to Stampede to counter initiate or most likely use it as a getaway car. Get the hell away from that big rock.
I was actually looking for the other timing too, which is the Mass Serpent Ward from the Shaman. He had him up and probably was waiting for the rest of LGD to give him that buffer and let the wards take out these towers, reduce the area the Team Secret can play in, and reduce Nisha's farm ability. It may be also the reason why you see the change between Game 1 and Game 2. He went for the BTs as opposed to finishing up the full Mjolnir.
Yep, this is a game where it's far more, it's about map control, right? You're not this free win lane push that LGD has to overcommit to deal with. They have a Tinker. They don't worry about their lane so much, and you're going to be hunted by this Slark that just picked up a BKB. Ame ready to rock and roll, and look at the vision that they get to play around. A ward just below that hill and above it as well. They're not going to get sentried most likely, and this is where you want to play if you're PSG.LGD.
Team Secret, they almost looked like they were grouping up for a smoke. Yep, there's Zai. Out too far, the call is there. And maybe we'll try and provide the extra bit of damage underneath the Mars. There's no way they can get closer, but they go with the Mass Serpent Force. The double stun, they had the finger. It's the same combo. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Use it again and again and again and again.
Just an unfortunate fight timing. Ame was playing the bottom lane. I feel like that's got to be a dead part of the map now if you're PSG.LGD. Let the Tinker deal with it. But if Ame's not there to connect like we saw him do on the Lycan in Game 1, yeah, they lost, but that's the sort of fight you're looking for. Get the Tomb down, get the wards down. If there's a Slark coming in from the backside, he's cleaning up the Lion-O problem, and then he's forcing the Arc Warden out of the game. But this is a BKB Slark. He wants to be finding team fights, or at the very least, somebody to start smacking.
And he's not even going in for, like there's no movement back to the Echo. He's going directly for a Skadi as the next one. So it's really tanky, big frontliner, tank through any kind of initial combination the Team Secret try and pop. But that's not your scary Slark. That's not your slap with the Echo Saber. Shift that essence and then just build up the momentum kind of Slark.
Yep.
But as you said, like they're not on the clock, not like Game 1. They can still buy space. The gold and experience is very close. It's within 1,000 on both of it. So no team is ahead. It does feel like this game is a lot harder for LGD than it had to be, though.
For sure. And the timings we're looking at, you're going to have an Ags on Tinker finished up pretty soon. That's incredibly effective against Arc Warden because the laser will split to the clone as well. It functions as a hero unit. The concern is once MKB is picked up by Nisha, you fear nothing.
Mid one, he has the Invis Room, breaks the smoke. Charles having to get the blink call off. Double sentries were planted and the Tombstone's down too, but saving Puppy. He's there, but the torrent is not, the whole Stampede back out, not at the right time. And now Zai hunting down maybe, trying to remove this Tinker effect from the back line, and this isolates the Undying. Mid one just walks it off, toggles it off, everything off. And now Ame, maybe he can get to the back lines, looks towards mid one, gets the pounds forward. He's splitting up the fight at the moment, but whereas the BKB is already on cooldown, and now isolated, fingered, drained, they've got the kill! Mid one's got a double up! They're not done yet. Chalice is isolated on the hill. He'll get a double call. No spin will really save Chalice here, unless he can get some space to blink out, and that ain't gonna happen either. Yamsor with that range of the stun, so huge. And how does LGD not come out on top of that fight?
Secret is just straight up outplaying PSG.LGD right now. Ame gets the BKB off, misses the pounce because the Stampede came out at the right moment. 7-8 seconds his BKB is not being utilized to attack any heroes, and then Puppy hits him with the Purge that pierces BKB and is uncleansable. He is forced to then pounce away. 0 in just anything in the fight from Ame. He goes back in and gets caught by the stun during his invis. The Hex on top, and the Glimmer Capes as well from Puppy were critical. You can't take anybody down, and you can watch how this fight begins. It's perfect from Chalice. They're going to get the Tomb down. It's all good. But what is Ame doing on the backside? Swing and a miss.
I'm running. I'm trying to chase. I'm trying to find a kill, but they don't even get mid one out of this. The bubble comes down from Nisha, provides the protection.
And there's the Purge, and all of a sudden Ame is completely isolated. He's now going to come back into the fight, but Tinker's got to cycle through. Maybe he's not going to be here for another 4 or 5 seconds. What are you doing, Ame? This is not going to work. And once again, we saw Puppy save himself with the Glimmer. Now he just pops it on mid one. Really well timed by Yapsor to ensure he'd have the Hex up after.
Found a target in towards mid, but he doesn't get the call off. They'll get the leash, however. Zai locked in for the moment. Yapsor wants to probably land the stun, lines it up, but there goes your Stampede. The ship, it'll
Yep.
connect, but there's not enough follow-up damage from Team Secret. They don't want to go down into this just yet. Tombstone's being planted, they'll get the X marks on the Chalice, Mass Serpent Wards. It's a good drop, mid one, however, saved by the Glimmer Cape. And then Chalice, double call, got both the niches. Hex up very quickly by Yapsor, follow-up's done. Arme just jumps in, able to get the control again, but how much damage does he take? He just hits into Nisha, but how long can he stand here? Wants to run away, pounces out, but the follow-up is still there. Maybe can do a little bit more, but he can't do enough. The rest of his team instead just rockets out any kind of vision. He'll jump away and TP out under the Dire Observer Ward, but LGD, Secret are so low, but they just can't finish the job.
I don't really know how to commentate on this one, Toby.
That's not a good sign.
Secret's doing a great job of kiting, utilizing their short stun cooldowns. Like, the coordination is absurd.
Zai, he was guessing. He was guessing where maybe was.
If PSG.LGD are going to win this game, they have to have a much higher degree of execution. They're finding good initiations, but they don't have that same coordination. They're not actually finding kills, and every time that tomb gets dropped, Secret kites away from it. They had the Stampede in that engagement, and then all of a sudden you're still forcing a fight, but your big spells are no longer able to be used. The wards were squandered as well off to the left.
Roshan belongs to Team Secret. In the space that was created, they just go to work. And now the Aegis the Immortal. It is in the hands of the Arc Warden. He is getting well out of control. But at the same time, PSG.LGD, they can slow things up. They are running a Tinker. They do have that threat of at least the gank from Slark. So Secret have to stay together, which makes it very difficult to deal with these side lane pushes that maybe he's able to achieve.
Just gonna get harder and harder for them. We saw this in the first game where you'd think LGD would have the easier time doing Roche, but Secret claims the first Aegis. It's already hard enough to kill Nisha. Now you'll have to do it twice, 3 times if you count the clones.
He's found. Oh, did he? Did he see? He didn't see him. Do you see him now? Do you see him? Do you smell him? Like, no, blind. That's fog in your eyes.
It's going to be a Hurricane Pike finish by Nisha, just continuing to scale, 3,000 ahead of the game at the moment, but the big concern is the Ame Slark, man.
Look at that swing. So, in the course of 15 minutes, you've managed to swing at about 30%.
Predictions can't account for play, Toby.
That's very, very true. How many times did we see a draft during the group stage? Like, this team should actually win. Woohoo! Zai.
You might find
he's
him.
looking for him. Stampede down into the trees, but Zai begins his own TP out.
Space created.
Yeah, no disable on the Tinker. He's actually gone for more damage. He's gone for the Dagon build. So they are really looking just to try and pop somebody, but this saving grace is the Glimmer Cape from Puppey has saved heroes time and time again.
Once again, you can see the theories of the way these teams have to play the team fights. LGD, you need to strike hard and fast, have the tomb, find that first kill, chase down for more. Secret, you're just trying to kite and stall, and eventually you're going to catch someone in a stun combo. They're going to go down. You're also the only team with real save. You've got the Disrupt like we saw in the previous fight. You have the Glimmer Cape. They can easily just kite back. Soon you'll have a Stampede that's going to have the added benefit of reducing all damage taken by your team by 40%. And I love that decision from Zai.
Zai's gonna be ready to jump again blind, and he was right on the money, but maybe blinks a fraction of a second beforehand. Maybe so quick.
And it's so cool. He skips the Crimson this game because you don't really need it. You'd think that the Undying might be enough, but since wards aren't affected by block mechanics, you just rely on the bubble, which is actually a hard counter to the Rasta wards like we saw in that last engagement.
Speaking of Rasta wards, they're trying to push out the bottom lane with a double catapult wave, so looking for an attempted trade. Slark was able to deny that mid tower, so there's something back, and the catapults, not enough damage to kill off the tier 2. It's within deny range on the bottom lane too.
I just can't believe Zai is as farmed as he is, even with Chalice. 1, 1, and 21. What a stat line.
Not too shabby. Zai is also getting very close to that Aghanim Scepter. Once that's up, like, how is LGD even meant to fight? Like their advantage is they can still keep removing vision of Team Secret. The Slark gives them that. Even if Arme's ability, like in the team fights, doesn't look like he's anything. But at least in the downtime, he's a deep ward machine. And Tinker just has to keep creating the space in the meantime, but then looking everywhere.
Yeah. It's going to get harder and harder to do that as that game progresses, though. Shadow Demon as well. Not a traditional Tinker counter, but you can find him in the trees with the Shadow Poison. If you land a Disrupt, he's going to go down 100% to one of your friendly stuns as well.
They're sentry warding up at the trees. They want to make sure if this Slark gets aggressive, he can't instantly they can't instantly get rid of the ward. And Puppy's looking for him too. Like, he's dropped a sentry ward, but he's walking around with the gem.
Oh, they missed the taunt, or sorry, they missed the X on Zai, so he's gonna have to walk all the way back. They were trying to just get him a quick port to base, come back with the Ags, but you can see the head shake, caught sleeping, and that's gonna prevent Secret from looking to pressure further for this tier 2 tower.
Exactly what space that's going to buy. Like, it's helping Arme have time to finish up an S and Y, but he's also going in an S and Y as his third item.
Exactly. Does that item even matter at this stage of the game?
Good question. Is it like to try and what? Counter the movement speed? Counter what? Like,
no clue.
Like, I suppose, like, you didn't really want to go Lincoln's on him to try and stop that purge from connecting. There's too many things that can help break it, but it doesn't feel good. But Team Secret, they want to fight. They have Aghanim, Centaur available, 4 heroes smirked up. Nisha's coming in behind him, but there's no tier 2 tower, so LGD, they don't have to be outside their base.
Look at that item just picked up by Nisha.
X-Over, careful how far you want to go out.
Tinker is no longer a way to answer Arc Warden, as both he and his clone will be hitting 75% of their attacks. And I point to that purchase of Ame on the BKB. If he connects for that team fight that he missed, maybe you can understand and identify the purpose, but now it just feels like he's going to fall off. He's behind mid one, who's just been hunting heroes the entire game.
The Mass Serpent wards are down. Maybe he's trying to toss up if he actually wants to have a crack at mid one. Mid one just tossing ship out. All right. 4-man smoke up from Team Secret from the bottom rune. They were able to find the DD. Those Mass Serpent wards brings the tower low. It's at least some level of harassment from LGD that makes Secret think twice.
It's still a game PSG.LGD can win. They have a Tinker, they have a Slark. All it takes is one big axe call, a Rasta Shackles, a good tomb. They have so much lockdown and so many ways to punish potential mistakes from Secret.
FY, get the hell out of there. He's going to blink over him. He doesn't do it. The Hex is out. FY will die. But he was able to steal one of the bounty runes. Oh, boy.
What?
Tinker able to get down into the river. Rearm, blink, TP. He's home. He's home.
That's got to get your heart racing if you're maybe.
Oh, maybe even get Charles' heart racing if he doesn't get out of here too fast. Mid one, looking for the torrent. The blink up will work. He didn't get the X mark spot. But with Shaman down, Team Secret, maybe they feel confident enough to push up. They don't have that Aegis anymore, but they do have a Daedalus on the Conquer. One swing, one cleave. That could hit real hard into LGD. Could cause them some problems.
Look at this, and they're pushing on the catapult wave, something we've talked about a lot. 2 catapults start spawning at 30 minutes. You can utilize them, you force Glyph, they get half damage on that mid-tier 3. You take that if you're Secret. It's all about chip damage. It's very difficult to close games against a Tinker, but minimize your ability to make mistakes. Keep accelerating on Nisha.
Oh, we'll get to watch this moment again. Quick blink. That rearm timing to get the instant blink out between the attack of the Centaur. It's a pretty low cast time, like it's 0.75 seconds to get the rearm.
Oh, hang on, they're invading.
Yeah, Slark's running up. They have a perfect Observe Ward. No, they don't. Just got dewarded. They have another Observe Ward up on top of the hill. Zai able to blink up quickly. Goes into Stampede. Chalice jumps forward. He was looking for the call, but he found nothing apart from now. A wet nose. Pulled down the BKB protecting him. Massive force from FY. Nice control. Arc Warden in trouble. The LGD. They just focus him. The call is there too. Kunka can't really do much. Zai leashed up forever. That's that plus 3 seconds. He couldn't run away. Mid one. He's low. X-Nova as well, but they get the kills. Team Secret. They have 2 heroes without buyback. That's why Chalice is hunting for even more. They want to open up Team Secret.
That is the Tinker Undying factor. You don't need a ward on the high ground. You could see X-Nova just waddle over. He puts the tomb down, 5 heroes getting hit by zombies. That means 5 heroes getting hit by rockets, by lasers, tons of vision, and all of a sudden you can't fight anymore. A huge taunt from Chalice.
Chalice.
Team fight over.
Oh, they'll see Shadow Demon, the Hex from Yapsor was the only thing to save Puppy down, but FY wants to go for his own Hex. Turns into Yapsor. The call is out. The Lion is controlled and brought down. Now 3 heroes from Team Secret who do not have buyback available. They're going to push the issue here. PSG.LGD have come in, and Puppy, one laser, he gets hit so hard, goes in for a disruption. Lee tries to make a couple of copies of the slide to turn things around, but would you believe it? LGD are looking to try and take this mid-rack. Zai ready for another jump in. Stampede's available without the Arc Warden. They probably don't feel like they can defend this. Puppy needs to make more clones. Zai will need to create a little bit of space. The jump wasn't there from the Axe, however, but they tombstone it. It's already back up for LGD, and they just keep beating into the melee racks. 1 second to conquer, 4 till the Arc Warden. Can they defend? They've got so many martial ways, but now the call, the control is problematic for mid-one. They bring him, no, it's X-Nova, the one to go down. Arme will run away, they double bubble the melee racks. And they do not find the kill, the timing of those abilities.
That was great heads-up play by mid-one. He X's himself back to base before TPing and gets the BKB off so that he can't be bursted down, but tanks the damage that would have killed his racks. Really, really well played by the second player to hit 10k MMR, and obviously a Malaysian player. The crowd certainly behind him.
Yeah, it's those beautiful plays that actually gets everyone to love you. And Team Secret, that is one hell of a hold. 3 heroes who were dead for so long, but it also exposes the weakness of PSG.LGD, right? Like, yes, you're swinging this advantage back up, the net worth's kicking up, the win probability, this is like a swing set right now. Like, we're not going to stay on one side or the other, but the fact that they just can't beat down the racks.
Well, to an extent, but they also didn't have cooldowns at the time, and they tried to kill mid-one and got this close. It demonstrates, though, how much easier it is for PSG.LGD to win fights, though. Secret thus far has been playing so much better, but will it continue?
FY, the smoke breaks. They want to pop the Tombstone Observe Wall, gives the extra information. FY able to get the Hex, but then they jump over, finding the real target. But then again, the saving grace from Puppy. He goes up the hill, the Stampede can't get mid-one away. Again, the leash holds him in position. Charles doesn't have a lot of life to fight with, as mid-one is still there. Zai finally brought down, and they charge forward. PSG.LGD right on top of Conquer. Mid-one, leash, stun, control, the stun from Yapsor, and Nisha!
The target's
He's just
again!
on the back, pumping them down! Nisha has a triple kill, LGD! Just cannot reach the damage of Secret!
Any other team would crumble there, Toby, but somehow Secret managed to turn that into a miraculous 4v1, or 4-1. I cannot believe they managed to execute that. That was like 4 toggles.
It took so long to bring down Zai. Mid-one was on solo life, but it was that early damage as well. Chalice just couldn't be involved. But watch Puppy and Yapsor, they're the ones that made this work.
And look at Puppy, like utilizing that Centaur X to get the positioning, then right back down the hill. A great bubble. Nisha's got his clone on the high ground, just continuing to pound in auto attacks. The Tomb and the wards, but look at Secret. They kite away and then look to turn. Their stuns get spammed out, and all of a sudden, somehow, they win the fight. And that smoke, they have a DDR cord, and this is an immediate Roche. Tinker's dead for 101 seconds.
Well, immediate Roche is a little slower Roche. And with the double damage through, Nisha will still finish the job. Yep, Yapsor was just watching. He has to regenerate with his Tranquils. My lord, LGD are on the ropes. That swing hits so hard the way of Team Secret. It's all coming back their way. The gold is good, the XP is even better. And now they come down the mid. Kill off the Arc Warden clone with the X-Mark, Torrent, pull back, Ship's coming down, Charles is in trouble, never even burned his BKB, buyback's available, X-Nova's got the Tombstone trying to help him, Shackle out, here comes your buyback, the pounds forward, Arme, he whips everything! That net catches no fish.
How did, and somehow mid-one got out of there too.
Yeah.
They're 5 gone. And
how? They just keep splitting so well, like, you got the leash duration. It seems like it's done something when he first picked it up, but since then, how many leashes have we actually seen from Slack that control up Team Secret?
And it's
like
so punishing too, because they don't have the reach to catch Secret's heroes once they're able to retreat those few units. And if Secret have proven time and time again, look, you can't fight us with no tomb and no wards. Shit, you can't beat us when you have those big team fight area control spells down on the ground.
It would make more sense if you had like the ability to pull them all in together. Like the Axe can't do that. He can get a blink call onto one and seems to just go for it. Now Team Secret, they're coming for it as well. They've still got the Aegis Immortal in the hands of Nisha. They want to try and get some counter mid-racks, but maybe hasn't prepared it yet. He's pushing the bottom lane instead while Nisha's clone attacks through. FY can at least control it.
And the disrupt too. The siege is so easy.
Laser it. Get rid of the damage. Just bounce that laser through. This is the counter at least. Give the miss chance, but Tier 3 tower is down. Secret can now look towards just killing off the shrines, remove the outer positions of LGD.
Exactly, and that's so critical when you're playing against the Tinker. And you can see Secret, they take that as a win. Their objective was just the Tier 3 because this means that no longer will Tinker be able to actually play aggro on map without friendly creep waves.
Yep. Even the next Roshan, you start looking at like refresher orbs, like refresher shards, anything like this. Like this is what Team Secret want to ensure LGD do not get, because that's where their danger could be. FY, he's sending the courier out to buy the upgraded wards. That's what he's looking for, the point booster. And if he can get a refresher shard, there's a win condition then for LGD.
Yeah, and they have the Tier 3 down as well. So all of a sudden, you drop double wards and tomb on the Tier 4s. I don't know if Secret, you can't retreat from your throne. You've got to defend that. And that's what PSG.LGD are waiting for. Just that one fight. We saw it in that dire bottom Tier 2 area. They just need one fight.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Well, Chalice may have a better chance of surviving. No proc. He went for the health regen. Just try and stay alive in these engagements.
It's just so difficult. Now that the shrines are dead, look at the Arc Warden's threat. Mid lane, already into where the Tier 2 died, and you have a clone and a hero pressuring the side lanes. Secret, playing in the blind forest of LGD. They have no idea where these heroes might be, yet they're constantly feeling the threat of these lanes coming in.
It's meant to be the opposite way around. Like the fact that Ame is walking around with a stolen gem, he's got Puppy's gem.
Yeah.
But still, Team Secret, they're the ones controlling the map. They don't have the gem anymore. Like they haven't bought a fresh one. But it doesn't matter when you know where they're going to be. Inside the base. This time, there is more of a prep from maybe. The March Machine's wave is down. They'll burn the pipe. Nisha just sends his clone up as they beat for another Tier 3 tower. Shackles. Wow, Zai just goes in. FY, he needs to get these mass serpent walls down and get further away, but the ship will connect. He gets nothing down at all. And with no buyback available, Team Secret will now take the Tier 3 tower and look for more. Right now, Tinker is kind of killing himself on side, and they're killing Tinker down. That's the game, really. You've got no defense. They're so strong. Army's trying to do as much as he can, steal as much as the bubbles are there, and that's what protects Zai. That's what protects all of Team Secret. They'll not only take the bottom rank, they'll take the mid, and if they want to, probably the game, if they can find one more pick. Slark and Axe, how do you even stop this?
You don't, Toby.
They're going Tier 4s. They don't want the second racks. Secret want to end it now. They want a 2-0. They want a winner's bracket final, and everything looks like they're going to get it. Zai, defensive Axe disruption, saves his life and blinks away. He wants to help out by killing Chalice. Careful of the blade melt. They'll wear off. He just waits for the stomp. They find the kill. This really is it. It is so far deep in the bag. You can't even see it anymore. It's in the shadows. Team Secret, they own this game.
This was such an incredibly impressive performance. If you couldn't win this game against Secret as PSG.LGD, I don't know if you can win a game against them, Toby.
GG, and it's called. Team Secret have made it to the KL Major Winners Bracket Final, securing top 3 at the Major, and LGD. They had glimmers of hope in this game. It looked good for them, but the sharp play that we've seen from them during the group stages and in this tournament so far, it whittled away under the pressure of Team Secret.
It was flawless. That way they executed that high ground dive, like they identified, look, we're jumping for Rasta or Tinker. First they find the Rasta. That lures maybe in. He's trying to help out FY, and all of a sudden YapzOr's blinking in, finding him with the stun. They all in, and yeah, sure, there's an axe, there's a slug, but you don't care about these heroes. Once the spellcasters, the squishy spellcasters go down, there's no more way for PSG.LGD to fight you, and they know Tinker has no buyback.
Yep.
They didn't lose a player until the very end after the GG had already gone out.
And that was only because they were forcing the issue. They were going after the Tier 4s. They knew it. One lane of racks, one opening was all it was going to take. And Team Secret, they barrel through, they get the heroes when they're down, and it felt like it was going to go the other way, but There's a swing.
Sorry, you just can't beat Secret when they play Dota like that. That was nuts. That was so good. 10 out of 10. I can't wait to watch them keep playing.
Well, we thank Kyle for his prediction. We're sorry. We're really sorry, Pi.
Yeah. Let's move on from the predictions, shall we? Congratulations to Team Secret. They've won their opening match here in the upper bracket semi-final, 2-0. They go through to that upper bracket final and guarantee themselves a top 3 spot. LGD have got to do all to do from the lower bracket as we break things down. Gents, does it come down as simple as if you pick Arc Warden twice and you can't counter it, then you don't win? Or is that too simplistic a view?
It's probably too simplistic. Both these games, like Secret knew exactly how to play it. Like they're playing extremely defensive, and then the second they can do something, like go for a Roche, they just get it. Like honestly, both games, like the first game they were really forced to go in for these like insane dives. But the second game here, like I don't know, they had a big advantage, and they kind of just kept throwing it away for a long time.
I'm sorry.
This is the final, like because I thought like the second game here they changed up their lineup, like I wanted them to. Like they could sit back and farm more, and instead, they just dove some towers and died. And then you're playing against Arc Warden Centaur. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, I think the Centaur too, right? Like the disengagements every single fight, like that's all they had to do. They smoked uphill. They would just, even when Zai died, as long as he got up, they'd disengage, and then you just come back in with Nisha 6 slotted. Like you couldn't do anything. And Yapsor and mid one just weren't missing anything. Yeah, here's the big fight right here.
This is the big play with the Arc Warden.
No,
Was it this one? Oh, maybe it wasn't
No,
this
this
one.
wasn't
Yeah,
earlier.
it looked very similar actually to
Yeah.
the one that he ended up.
There's
on
one later
I think
there.
he forced stuffed onto the cliff, didn't he?
Yeah.
So there was,
this is one of those fights where they already kind of threw away their advantage, and they just keep fighting with their Slark. Like Slark is already I guess because he went BKB, he felt like, all right, I got my BKB guys, let's gather up
Yeah.
this fight.
There was a couple of mistakes from that Slark as well, wasn't it? It wasn't a perfect game.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? I don't understand why you would go Slark there instead of Spectre, which was not banned. It just makes your game so much more secure. It just feels easier to play. Like if you have the Slark against these counter heroes, you feel forced to just make a play that you shouldn't or wouldn't make normally. And we've seen it like in this game so many times where they're ahead and the Slark just like dives in and dies instantly because he doesn't expect the hex or doesn't expect the physical damage.
We talk about teams, excuse me, theory crafting how to beat particular lineups or heroes or whatever. They may not have just had one theory last night. They may have had two, and the second one was the Slug, right? If you're going to lose 2-0 to the same hero, then the best place to do it is in the upper bracket, at least.
That's true.
So they've found that out now, and they've probably paved the way for all the other teams that might end up playing Secret now to kind of just go, okay, we've tried everything we can think of now, to just ban it out.
No, they also should look at their rotations. Like their first minutes, they were always stomping Secret.
Yeah.
And then Secret would kind of move around. They would give up on a lane, like move around a little bit, and the LGD kind of stopped dominating.
Yeah, that's
But
both
they've
games.
been fantastic at doing that throughout the whole tournament, it seems.
Yeah. No, they always know how to get as much farm as they can.
I mean, if you look at Secret, the way they play, it's always if they lose like 2 lanes, they always give up 1 lane, then they try to focus on winning the other 2 lanes and just play really defensively, and they just want to farm up on their own side until they have their 1 or 2 core items, and then they're gonna make plays. They're gonna make a smoke play, stand behind people, camp people, and that's how they usually get back into this game. They were like 6k gold down, I think, and they took 2 really good fights with their core items, and they just came back into the game.
I think the support items, Puppy got like a 16-minute Glimmer Cape or something super early, and this was the fight, I think.
Yeah, this is the one, isn't it? Yeah, there we go.
And that the accidental, we think, Tempest double going up on top. I mean, if it wasn't, it's like
it looked
the
pretty
play of the
purposeful.
tournament. 'Cause look at it.
It looked pretty purposeful. When you watch it back, he literally is directly
does
at it. It's
look
not one of
like
those
that.
where he got knocked on there or he misclicked or whatever. It looks like he genuinely wanted to be there.
That's where you want the tombstone, but instead there's this fake hero that does 100% damage, and you just can't do anything against it.
I don't want to take anything away from like Secret, but the Axe, man, he had a lot of questionable plays this game. Like he blinked in, called no one, or like canceled his call. He was very unsure of what he was doing in his fights. He never felt really confident in his plays. It felt like.
It feels like that's like all axes in the late part. I think teams are just learning how to position correctly, right? Like S4 had some really bad axe games as well, even though they won the game. Like people are finally understanding how to position versus an axe, and it just seems tough.
I mean, it's not easy, right? They have a Shadow Demon to save as well. If you only call one guy, then it's pretty much a wasted initiation. You would just die after.
Yeah, they shadowed even pick though, and getting the very early glimmer cape. Like no one died after that on their team.
Yep.
You tell he's smiling.
Yeah. Puppy enjoying himself.
They played extremely well, Secret, both games.
They're just playing. They haven't looked bad one game this tournament. And usually you can like pinpoint like, oh, they've looked bad this one game, this one series. Secret has not looked bad one game, which is insanity.
Yeah, thoroughly deserving of the upper bracket final, which is what they have reached. They've also got a terrible record in the lower bracket, so it's probably a good job that they've gone through to the upper bracket. Here's the final scoreboard from the first series of the day. Ex-Nova, unfortunately, on home soil here, 0-13-12, and I'll highlight that one because at least on the other side, Malaysia can celebrate because mid one was 16-3 and 14. So one way or another, Malaysia wins.
Yep.
I mean, this series, one Malaysian against another, that's, one winner, one loser. Yep.
Incredible. Who would you pick out for your MVP?
I'd probably just give it to Puppy for his playing game 2 in his drafts. Like, I assume him and Sunbeer are doing most of the drafting.
Yeah.
I just thought they had better drafts overall. Whether that was LGD giving it to him or not, it was just, I think, the drafts in his game 2 play.
Yeah, it's like a lot of how they move with the supports, and especially the first game, like how they just camped the safe lane. Like usually you want to trade, but they just sat there. And I think Sai played it really well too. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing.
I think the biggest player for me was in game 1 and 2 probably just Yapsor. Like he got like 2 or 3 man stuns with like lion impales, boulder smashes. I think he made a lot of these comeback plays happen.
Yep.
And
that's how you know a team's good when we're all three saying different players. Like,
Yeah.
that's
I was going to mention, hello, mid one?
Yeah.
Dude, it's that last game.
That last game was
Damn.
insane.
Yeah.
And
So,
nobody
yeah.
even mentioned Nisha yet, even though he
No, but
played.
he played the arc wall.
He played
Right.
it perfectly. On
We
one
know
position.
he's gonna play
He played the
perfect.
auto-win
Yeah.
hero. Like, you don't give an MVP to auto-hero.
Especially when
wins.
it's his top 3 hero. We talked about it. It's Morphling, TB, Arc Ward. If you're going to give him one of those heroes, you need to have an answer for it.
It's like his meta. Like this is like his time to shine, and he is doing it, man.
I mean, he's not
shining.
bad, is he? For a couple of lands old. He's in his third land, right? And he won his first 2.
Yep, this is his
With-
first
with-
like
with
real
Secret.
big stage. And he did not crumble. I noticed that like some people maybe they would, but he was smiling after game 1 and played perfectly game 2. So he's ready.
Yeah, seems pretty cool, doesn't he? Should we get a word with them? Should we have a chat to
Sure.
Team Secret?
Would
We
love
do
that.
All right, let's do that now. And bring in Mr. Puppy. Sir, congratulations.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing
Good.
well. I'm watching
two-
your stream.
2-0, my friend. That seems like it all went to plan. Did you think that they might give you the Arc Warden and let you play it and see if they could come up with something?
We were prepared to play against Arc Warden first game.
Okay.
Second game, they gave it to us. It was a game about Arc Wardens, honestly, at that point.
It did
it's,
seem
it's many of them, by the way. It's not one of them.
right.
Many Arc Wardens.
Yes, quite. Yeah, which one's the real one? In terms of your run through this tournament and the previous 2 tournaments as well, you guys just seem imperious right now. Your form is fantastic. The team play seems great. The chemistry seems to be working. You all seem to be enjoying yourselves as well, which is obviously really important. What are you still got to work on?
We still have much more to work on. I think we are still making a lot of mistakes on laning stages. And there's definitely a lot more that is unseeable to the eye because in the game, everything happens on the whole map, and you can't actually look at the camera the whole time. You don't see what wards are being placed. You don't see why the play is being made, and all those things. Like we still have a lot to learn.
Okay, we've got 3 other gents on the panel. I'm sure they've got questions for you.
Yeah.
Grant, do you want to kick things off?
Yeah, were you surprised they picked Slark when you hadn't picked your Yapsor hero, or you still had 2 picks left? Like, I know people say he's a counter to Arc Warden, but were you just surprised to see that hero?
They didn't want to pick Tinker. That's the biggest problem. Like they wanted Tinker, but they can't pick it there. So they had to pick something that's going to be good against the Arc Warden and not fail if the Tinker is being banned, actually. So it was kind of like a locked up position. I think the Slark was a good pick, but just ban Lion next time, or something at least. Man. Hexes are just too big of a deal. They already had Rasta, but we probably would have maybe answered with something different. But it's still pretty hard to play that hero.
I see something? Oh, yeah.
No, you can't.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
No.
The second game though, that was pretty hard, right?
Yeah, it was
Didn't
pretty hard.
that felt pretty bad for a while?
No, for a while it felt really bad.
Yeah, because like there was a difference, right? The first game I was like, yeah, they're done. Like they can't move in there. But the second game, I guess
I mean, there's always like an axe cheesing your lane. It's whatever you're gonna do about it. It's like okay, I can like spam him up level 1, so they don't go level 1, so they go level 2, and then I can't do anything. I was like, well, you know, it's really great. Shadow Demon will be good against them, but we're just playing a cheese Dota game now once again. Like we just can't do anything.
How did you get that Glimmer Cape in like 16 minutes? What happened? Did you get like a kill? Did I miss something? Did you farm like 5 stacks?
I stole some kills.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, I stole. No. But I got the top wave for like a while. Remember, I was like solo against the Slark for a good amount of time, and mid one just said, I'm gonna go roam. You know. So
That's nice.
That worked.
I mean, Kunkka ship deals like finger of death damage, so he feels the power.
Yeah, I just wanted to know in game 1, I thought you guys would lane completely differently or try to match up the lanes completely differently. Like that you would want the Lycan against the Bristleback and so on and so forth. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail about strategy, but...
The only problem about like me explaining why I didn't do that is probably giving too much away. But if to just say that I think the lanes are stronger that way for Mr. Arkwarden.
Yeah, and you guys felt like... Were you worried at all? Because the lead in the early game was quite substantial, but you like managed to come back.
They're on a
no
timer.
problem.
Their carry is Lycan. I don't give a flying F about a carry Lycan. So it's just wait a little bit and then he's gonna be useless.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Thank you very much, Clement, and congratulations once again. We'll see you in the upper bracket final.
Bye bye.
See you.
There we go then, Puppy and Team Secret safely through to the upper bracket final. And as I said, they don't have the best of records in the lower bracket, so it's probably a good job they have gone through. NIP versus Virtus Pro, which one do you... I didn't ask him that, because I always ask that. It's a horrible question. You're like, I don't care. But do you think it matters to them because of the way that they both draft and the way that they play? Or do you feel like they might start the favorite regardless?
I think they would have a harder time against VP.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I don't know. It feels like like how both teams work, they would deal with both of them. That's how I feel right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like on paper, they should just be stronger than both teams.
Too strong.
Yeah, I mean, for me, LGD, I thought was like super good.
But that was the best challenge.
They just got dismantled though, pretty much.
Well,
yeah. Like,
Secret is that good right now.
It was like very methodical, just like a dismantling of a top tier team. Like,
Yeah, I guess VP is like, if they could get no one and Ramses too, maybe like they lead the game more in that team, So like if they want to farm, they would farm. They wouldn't do what LGD did game 2, I think. They would like rather farm up a bit than secure the win. But I'm not sure. I don't think there's a clear. Yeah.
We'll see how it pans out. But thank you very much, gents. And thank you also for you to tune in live wherever you are from around the world. We know that it's a very challenging time zone for many people outside of Asia as well. So thank you for staying with us, whether it's late at night or whether it's early in the morning. Also, for everyone that's come down to the Axialia Arena today, and we hope you enjoy the Dota 2. Our first series is done. It's Team Secret that have gone through to the upper bracket final. We're going to find out next who's going to join them. Will it be Virtus Pro or will it be Ninjas in Pajamas? A man who captains the team is still looking for his first series win over Virtus Pro since the Shanghai Major. Yeah, we all know what happened there. Let's move on swiftly. A break is around the corner, and when we come back, we'll have a brand new panel and we'll have a brand new game.
People think they know what's going on in the game. Analysts, casters. Psst, no one knows more than me. Hello, I am Jorge Patrico Popescu, and I am the guy in front of Dota 2 in-game win rate. People think it's some kind of algorithm or something, but in reality, it's just one man, 9 Monster Energy drinks, and a whole lot of stress. I see the Queen of Pain. I say, oh no, bye-bye win rate. I see the Divine Rapier. I say,